Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. Today we are here with the Potatiest, and we are going to talk about dragon deities, okay? Because, like, look guys, it's insane, but like there really are dragon gods everywhere. So if you are interested in learning all about the dragons from ancient myth and history, the ones that have ruled us since the dawn of time, the ones that you can find in every culture from across all belief systems of the world, you found the right stream today, my friend. This one is just for you, and do not forget to leave your questions about the dragon deities, okay? Because this is by far my favorite part of life, okay? Like, I haven't got a stream in ages. Yay, Alex! Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. Tragic, nostalgic, and Tim Rivera, welcome to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. It is so beyond wonderful to have you all here tonight. But we must address the dragon in the room, okay, chat? Here, we have Potat for the vibes. And, well, here's the thing. Ever since I was a little girl, I've loved dragons, don't get me wrong. But my true obsession started with the dragons when I was a little girl and I found the Dragonology books. Raise your hand if you used to read the Dragonology books, because I did. I love the Dragonology books. They were obsessed with me as much as I was obsessed with them, and I mean that. I mean that with my full chest, okay? Nightmare Fuel Studios, welcome back to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. Woo! We are having a party tonight with the dragons. I'm so excited. Moonlight Sorcery, yay, it's so good to see you. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. I am doing really good, a little bit better than yesterday, but still feeling under the weather. But that's why I'm stream from the bedroom, I guess. That sounded weird. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted to talk to you guys about how this obsession started with me when I was a wee little child. And the Dragonology books have like this map in them. And it's basically like shows you this map of the world and like all these different like dragons from each part of the world and how they're a little different. Now, it doesn't necessarily talk about them as deities, but it says like types of dragons from around the world, right? So you'll have the Western dragons in Europe. It shows like the Asian llრაღაც or the Eastern dragons in like the East for China. And then it shows the amphitheaters in North America, and et cetera, et cetera. So that kind of really piqued my curiosity as a kid. And then when I first like realized that, I used to talk to my parents, no shit, like for real. I was like, you can't tell me that dragons aren't real when they're everywhere. Like everyone has some sort of version of them, and like from even the most remote of islands like Hawaii, and we'll get into the Hawaiian dragon myths very soon. But yeah, so this is very much like a impromptu, like I got questions, right? So if you guys are not in the Hatchling clan yet, first of all, you should be. And second of all, we're working on a dragon deity database over here with all this information for you guys to enjoy. That's basically going to give you access to, you know, information of all these dragon deities that we've compiled with the hatchlings from all around the world. And this is basically to help us, you know, navigate cross-referencing things, right? Like, we're also going to talk about how some of these deities are considered closed. So I have to, I think, give myself a role on the Hatchling clan account to access this. So hold on, because it's still under construction right now, but it will be an invite-only chat room simply because there's just so much information that could be inaccurate, and we don't want to like spread misinformation, so we want to keep it as nice and clean as we possibly can. So I don't believe I can see all of the chats just yet, but the ones I do want to go over with you guys are mostly like the popular ones, right? So like we're gonna go over like the popular dragons. We're also gonna go over dragons that are like, you know them as dragons by association. And then we're also gonna go over the ones that are like reptilian in nature or are simply just like associated as dragons but aren't necessarily dragons. So that's kind of like what we're going to cover in today's video. So please let me know if you have any questions about them, and let's just jump into it. So hey, Mr. Rogers, good to see you. Welcome back to your Daily Dose of Dragonfeather. I'm UNC status. My first dragon exposure was Draco and Dragonheart. Oh my gosh, I love Dragonheart. I haven't read them, but I watched Dragon Tales. Hell yeah, I love Dragon Tales. I also love their Egyptology books as a child and learned about our deities that way. Yes, I love the Egyptology books. I have all of them, like the Wizardology and all of them. They're so good. They're so much fun. They're just like really, really fun. I had a whole page about what crystal dragons like. That's amazing. I love it. Is this R-rated? No. Today we're talking about dragons. We're really excited. We're talking about dragon deities from around the world. So if you're interested in learning, leave a like on the stream. I'm very excited about it. Glad to watch this while doing some stitchcraft making my yarn tail. Oh my gosh, tragic. I have to see it. Please share pictures in the clan when you're done. But anyway, here we go, guys. So you probably know like the most popular dragon deities, right? Now those ones are gonna be probably Leviathan. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that Leviathan is probably the most popular like dragon deity that like people know and love. And Leviathan comes from the Abrahamic religions, actually. He's mentioned in the Bible as well as the Torah, like the Old Testament and the New Testament, but he's not mentioned in the Quran, which I find fascinating. But some more popular deities that you might know and love are Tiamat. We love Tiamat, and she is even got her own movie with Godzilla, though she was destroyed. Rip Tiamat. But like, it was really, really crazy because like, I just like, dude, like, it's so wild and trippy seeing how like all of these dragons from ancient myths are being like inserted back into like media and stuff, like especially Dungeons and Dragons, right? So Tiamat's one of those as well. She's in Dungeons and Dragons as well. So you also have Jormungandr, which is from Norse mythology. I would say that those are probably the top three like most popular dragon deities that you know and love. So Tiamat's from ancient Mesopotamian, Sumerian mythology, but like I said, just naming these names, you're gonna see these dragons in like the most crazy places, right? So this is something that has truly become the corner focus of my practice as a dragon witch. And when I look into these mythologies around the world, they all kind of have similar themes. For the most part, most of the dragon deities within historical myth, they are associated with the waters, okay? They're usually associated with creation. They're usually associated with destruction. They're also associated with the void. And it's usually some sort of combination of that. And also they are associated with bringing weather or bodies of water. So it's, again, the water is really important when it comes to the dragons, which I think a lot of people wouldn't really think about because like modern time, when you think of dragons, you think of fire breathers, right? That's actually quite a new association to dragons, okay? Which I think is really fascinating, but it's not the only, right? It is in many different myths, right? So you have like dragons that breathe fire in like Scandinavian myths. You have I meant Slavic myths. So like from like Russia and stuff like that, you'll have those kinds of myths like Aspid or the Zemji. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. But then you also have from ancient Egypt, Denwen, which is a giant fire-breathing serpent that was shunned by ancient Egyptians because they believed his fire had the power to kill the gods. So this is a really common theme when it comes to the dragon like deities. It's like these literal forces of either ultimate destruction or ultimate creation. And the best part about it is that they're usually depicted as adversaries or as like the epitome of like darkness, if that makes sense. Like for Apep, for example, also another Egyptian dragon deity that is rivaling Ra. It is said that Apep swallows or tries to kill Ra every single night, Ra being the sun god in Egyptian mythology. And you'll see these themes over and over again throughout all of these different cultures. And the more and more I dig into it, I'm just like, but why? Also, the dragon deities are going to mostly be associated with protecting things or providing fortune and resources, okay? Super, super amazing. What about the Aztec one? I'm not going to try and spell his name. Yes, Alex, let's talk about Quetzalcoatl. So technically, Quetzalcoatl is the rainbow-feathered serpent from Mayan or Aztec mythology. This particular dragon is actually not a technical dragon, and if you talk to the people from these cultures, this the rainbow-feathered serpent Quetzalcoatl will actually be considered only a serpent, and it is considered almost offensive to call them a dragon. It is a closed deity, so it's only for the people who are from that from those descendants, excuse me, of the Mayan and Aztec people. But yeah, it's considered actually cultural appropriation to associate Quetzalcoatl with the dragons. The reason why in the Hatchling clan we have a chat room about Quetzalcoatl underneath the dragon deity database is because it is so commonly associated as a dragon. So it's pretty much just a channel that's like an announcement channel for you guys to read about information rather than like discussing about how to like work with him, etc. because of that reason. But again, that's another dragon or serpent, because we're covering like serpents as well when it comes to like dragon deities. Woo! When it comes to dragon deities, we kind of lump in the serpents with that too. So, and by extension, we're also kind of looking at any sort of like deities that have association with like reptiles, for example, or like any sort of like scaled beasts, if that makes sense. So for example, let's talk about the mo'o from Hawaiian mythology. They have actual like dragon, well, they're not like by definition dragon gods, but they are called like lizard gods, and they are depicted as like giant lizards. But again, they're associated with the water, and they're associated with protecting the island of Hawaii. So again, literally anything. Like, give me a geographical location and I'll tell you about the dragons that live there, because like it's literally that everywhere. Like, it's everywhere. And like the more that I study the dragon deities and the myths of the dragons, the more that I realize that we're all connected through dragons and our beliefs. Everybody everywhere has some kind of like concept of a dragon, and I think it is so fascinating. I cannot stop learning about it, okay? So like I will literally be studying this till the day I die. And it's a huge part of my practice now, like not only as the Draconic Priestess, but just as a dragon witch in general. Potat wants to hang out here, I think. It's like such a huge part of my practice, because like it just reminds me how like we're literally also interconnected, and how we're literally also part of each other. And it just seems like it's so part of being human to have like some sort of a concept of a dragon. And something else that really blows me away, really, North and South American cultures, are you conflating serpents and dragons? Yes, Brandon, we're I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but when it comes to like the general consensus, I'm like lumping them in, like not defining them that way, but I'm saying like a lot of the serpent myths from North and South America will also have parallels to dragon myths of other places around the world too. And so that's kind of where we're drawing the connection here. And I will always make sure to disclaim the difference, right? So like Jormungandr, that's a serpent, right? But like Fafnir from Norse mythology, most people actually think he's like a dragon, but like most of his like physical descriptions describe him as a serpent actually, which I thought was really fascinating. But then you have like from Slavic mythology, you have Aspid, which is categorized as like a dragon with bird or snake-like features. So that one's like all about him, right? It's just crazy. So yeah, how about Ireland? Yes, we have the, first of all, the dragons in Ireland are like sometimes even considered the, the druids, the master druids. The dragon symbolism is just very fascinating with all of that. But in terms of like a Celtic deity that's associated with dragons, we have Melusina, which is, some might consider her not technically a dragon because she has like, she's like half human, half serpent. She's like cursed to turn into a dragon or a serpent every Saturday. But the way that like, like, it's really hard to find, you know, certain like dragons in certain places, like Ireland, for example, because of simply the lack of like, you know, remnants of things. So we're still doing more research as well, but I just wanted to jump on here and really kind of open the conversation as we're jumping into this, because I want it to be like a back and forth chat, right? It's just like really kind of something that like I'm deeply fascinated by, and like, and it's just like really, really like, I'm curiously compelled, right? And so like, look at this right now. Who asked me about the Ireland dragons? Mama Bear, welcome to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. So see, even I didn't know off the top of my head, right? Like there's that literally that many, and I literally just have to Google it. And we have in Irish mythology and folklore, Olafeist, meaning great worm or mighty reptile, refers to a sea serpent or dragon-like monster. See, and it's literally, again, sea serpent, inhabits lakes, rivers, like, this crazy. This blows me away. Like I literally can't stop. I won't stop. So like literally you can go anywhere. How about Puerto Rico and Sicily? Let's find out. I don't know that country off the top of my head either. Like I said, I'm still doing like research, and this is why I'm building the dragon deity database in the Hatchling clan. So we have all of these like, what's it called? We have all of these dragon deities easily accessible for you to reference, right? And of course there's going to be way more than I could ever list in like a Discord server, but that's why we have, you know, like a general chat room for the like lesser known ones, or like, you know, the smaller ones. But we have Puerto Rico. That's a great one. I'm so excited right now. Like we are like doing it in real time right now. Is Fafnir really associated with fire? No, tragic nostalgic. I will jump into that in just a second, actually, because that's probably one of the most controversial questions that we're gonna get tonight. So I'll literally jump into that in just a second, but here we go. It's just really fascinating to me because like I could probably do this for like ever and still. Let's see. They're saying things like, I don't know how to, like, it's saying like the chupacabra is a modern myth of a blood-sucking creature, so I don't think that's right. But the Taino people, the original inhabitants of Puerto Rico, had a rich mythology that included spirits and shapeshifters. So that's something that is really important to Puerto Rico. Did I say it right, Tim Rivera? I hope I said it right. But yeah, so Puerto Rico has a lot of myths about shapeshifters, and shapeshifters are generally considered dragons, to be honest. They're genuinely considered like, they're like really associated with dragons, but again, like I'm taking notes from you guys too, because like I can only think of so many like different, like, what's it called? So many different countries, right? So like anything that you guys like have like homework for me, I'm gonna do that homework, okay? We're gonna research it, and then we'll jump back on here and talk more about dragons, because what's the day? Hold on. Today is Thursday. So I was going to let you guys know we're thinking of making like our Thursday streams into kind of like our dragon chat streams. So every single Thursday, inshallah, I'll be able to jump on here and we can talk about dragons and dragon magic and just like how that works and the history and mythology of dragons, and by extension like dragonkin and things like that. You mean Puerto? You snap. I hope I'm saying it right. How about New Zealand? Any dragons from my homeland? Luke, we have to find out. I know there is. Okay. I just do. But yeah, dude, it's like literally blows my mind. Let's find out. New Zealand. Dragon myths. Let's find out. Yes, here we go. In New Zealand's Maori mythology, taniwha are supernatural, often serpentine or dragon-like creatures, believed to inhabit waters, caves, and dangerous areas, sometimes acting as guardians or posing as threats. There you go. I definitely recommend looking into the Maori myths, because the Maori have quite a few different type of dragon myths. So like, and I really do want to like break down like over time like just go through them and like, you know, like go through the different like geographical locations and like kind of like deep dive into their dragon myths and see if their like locations like or their landmass or their environments influenced their what's it called, influenced by like the geographic, like are the dragon myths, are their dragon gods influenced by that, right? So I certainly think this is one of my favorite things, right? Because every single time I learn about dragons from around the world, guess what I also learn? I also learn about the different people from around the world. And I think, if you ask me personally, the reason why my dragon guardians, especially Pickle Chips, my darling dragon guardian, who's one of my primaries, he really impresses upon me to study the dragon deities as much as I can and to learn as much as I can and to never stop. And I really truly believe it's because Pickle Chips knows that the dragon gods from around the world are literally portals into learning about different types of people and their cultures. And I personally have learned more about humans and their like cultural beliefs and their cultural practices through studying the dragon myths of their people, of the peoples of these places, than I would have ever learned in a textbook, than I would have ever learned anywhere else. And it really just reminds me how we are all the same. You guys, we are all the same, believing in dragons, just in different fonts. And it's my favorite thing in the world. Is she talking about a book? No. I'm talking about dragon, like, mythology from around the world. So if you look around the world, literally insert, like, go to Google right now and type in like any sort of like country or like geographical location and then dragon myths at the end, and you will 99.9 million% sure you will find something. Okay, this is what blows me away, even with the remote islands. No, not like fantasy. I'm talking about history, okay? Like where the fantasy comes from. They steal from the history, right? I'm talking about ancient history. Feliz cumpleaños, Caitlin. Whose birthday is it? Oh, hi, Caitlin. Happy birthday. Welcome back to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. Woo! Okay. So anyway, it's really kind of like magical, because I think like everybody needs to understand like if there's anything you take away from my channel, please let it be this: there's dragons everywhere, okay? And they literally tie us in together everywhere, okay? The one thing humanity has more in common than anything else is literally beliefs in dragons, okay? Like, I don't know what else to tell you guys. They're everywhere. Like, and that's one thing that just makes me so happy to be alive. I just love being alive, okay? Like, I just love the dragons, okay? I could study them for the rest of my life, okay? Oh, and this also includes like crocodilian type deities too, but like only by association, right? So let's talk about one from, I believe is it Haitian mythology or is it Congolese mythology? I'm pretty sure Ninki Nanka is from Congo. Hold on. N-I-N-K. Ninki Nanka. Oh, West African folklore, particularly in Gambia. Please excuse me. There are dragons from the Congo and Haiti as well. I believe those ones are Ayada, Wedo, and Dambala. Off the top of my head, I'm really trying to remember. But like their names are also different everywhere around the world. So it can really be quite so confusing sometimes. But it says, are there any dragons in Gnosticism other than Eden Serpent, obviously? So the Eden Serpent actually isn't technically like, some believe it's like Enki, right? But like, I'm not too sure. I definitely want to learn more about like the serpent from that perspective, because like from the like Muslim perspective, like Shaitan is actually not a serpent, he's a jinn, right? So I have to do some more research on that, but I do definitely recommend looking into Leviathan, Alex. 100% look into a Leviathan, because Leviathan comes from Gnosticism, and it's not one of the Eden serpents. I like snake. I like snakes too. Hey Abraham Lincoln, welcome to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. We are here talking about the ancient history and mythology of dragons. So if you are interested, make sure you hit that like button. We talk about dragons and magic here on this channel, and pretty much world religion, because we just love studying world religion at this point due to the dragons, okay? So the reason why this channel is kind of turning into a channel that's for like all religions and spiritualities and like faith-based practices of the world is genuinely because of the dragon deities in all of these different faiths and practices and belief systems of the world. Which video or videos do you recommend watching so I can catch up on dragon lore? I really recommend watching my Draconic Priestess playlist on my YouTube channel. It has every single dragon video I've ever made, okay? It's 100% recommended, and you can watch me grow through my journey of learning about the dragons, because I started this channel when I was 13, okay? We've been here for a quick minute. It's been a while. How's everyone? What have I missed? Luna Rainbow, good to see you. Welcome back to your Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. We have Potat, he's here for the vibes. You didn't miss too much. You did not miss too much, my love. We're just talking about dragon deities and like dragon mythology around the world and just kind of the themes that tie them together, right? Are they real? I certainly believe they are, because if they're literally documented in every single culture throughout the world, especially the remote islands like Hawaii and the like Caribbean islands, okay, and New Zealand, okay, like anywhere, I promise, and Japan, okay, please, there's dragons everywhere. Help me, okay? I need you to understand that. How are they not real? These human beings could have never contacted or communicated with each other, and yet they still have concepts of dragons. I just have questions, okay? Like how did we get here? Where did the dragons come from? Did we actually have dragons? Did we kill the dragons? Are dragons dinosaurs? Because I have these questions too. Like a monitor lizard? I mean, some people could consider like the Komodo dragon a dragon, right? I mean, honestly, dude. Honestly, okay, let me tell you something. Komodo dragons are nasty, okay? Like, they are some nasty motherfuckers. My favorite theory is that there are almost no fossil remains because they likely had bones like birds or snakes, so they weren't dense enough to be preserved. Yes, Brandon, and I think people don't really realize how, like, many things need to happen in order for fossilization to take place. The only reason why I know this is because I have an aunt who's a paleontologist. We have property in Sharktooth Hill, and we find fossils all the time there, and we donate them to the museum sometimes. But like, I'm gonna tell you something, the fossils that we do find, like, they're really just not full skeletons, and even the fossils that we do have, you guys, like the Tyrannosaurus Rex, for example, or the Spinosaurus, for example, these skeletons are rough estimates, okay? Like, they are comprised of a bunch of different bones from a bunch of different sites, and we're trying to recreate what we think is what's up. So I think that because of how little we actually know about dinosaurs, and how little we know about how they actually are, just based off of these like scattered crumbs basically in the dirt, like, I think it's very possible that dinosaurs are dragons, to be honest with you. And also, I would like to mention that the word dragon is much older than the word dinosaur. So if we were at any point in time referring to dinosaurs before the word dinosaur existed, you can bet your sweet beans and rice we were calling them dragons, okay? That is true. Your headdress is awesomeness. Thank you, Chaz. You're very sweet. Welcome to your Daily Dose Dragon Feather, my dear. They could be huge, but would have to be light enough to fly. So some people suggest that they had hollow bones like birds. Yes, Brandon, I think it's very possible. The word dinosaur in Chinese has the word dragon in it. Are you kidding me? Dragon is... I'm gonna cry. I love dragons so much. What do I do? Did you hear that, Potat? Did you hear that? See, tragic nostalgic, let me tell you something. China has some of the most well-documented dragon mythology I've ever seen, and if they are going to have the kanji for dragon in the word dinosaur, that is proof for me. Proof for me, my darlings. It's true. It's true. It's proof, okay? I mean, look, the only proof that I got that dragons are real is that we all got myths about them, okay? Because, like, why? Why do we all have myths about dragons if they're not real, bestie? At least in some way, right? I'll research it more and post it in the server. Yes, please do. I would love to see it. Where's the link for your Discord? It is the first link in the description of this video. Just the first one. It says join the Hatchling clan, and it's the link right down below. I love how far spread the word dragon is. Everyone said dragon and understood dragon. Yes! Or dragons are the descendants of dinosaurs. Or maybe the other way around. Maybe dinosaurs are the descendants of dragons, because according to all of these like mythologies about dragons, they really truly say that the dragons have been like, they were the original like owners of the earth, right? And a lot of people like speculate in like different cultures around the world that there is a dragon alive on this earth and it lives in the ocean. The fossil nicknamed Dragon Man is a nearly complete skull discovered in Harbin, China, dating back at least 146,000 years ago. That's amazing, Brandon. Absolutely, I'm going to look into that, because my dad has actually sent me quite a bit of like links about like, you know, dragons being discovered over there. And I also just like really need everybody to know that like, I think that the more that you like go back in history, and the more you look at like, especially like medieval and ancient myths, like you will see how beast-like these dragons were depicted. Like in some of this art, like what constituted a dragon was basically like a hybrid of all these other animals. So they would essentially be chimeras, right? So like chimeras are considered dragons, like griffins are considered dragons because of this. At least in like, if you go back into like mythology, right? So like the ancient myths of the dragons, they showcase like, you know, dragons being like having, what's it called? Like the back legs of a lion and like the head of an alligator, like, you know, like the front legs of an eagle, or you know what I'm saying? Like they were literally made of like everything, right? Or like, it was really what made them dragon-like was being like hybrid of all of the animals, right? And that's kind of what made them beast-like. So then the more back that you go in history, the word beast and the word dragon and the word monster were truly kind of like interchangeable for some cultures. Excuse me. Which is why like when we have like the dragon deity database, like it will have like even some like creatures that are not technically by definition dragons. For example, the Daba from the Quran, which is the beast that will come forth through the earth on Judgment Day. It's described as a beast, but like it could be a dragon and it could be something else, because we literally don't know, and it's not technically defined. But a lot of people associate these beasts of calamity with dragons or dragon energy or dragon archetypes, simply because of this collective association with dragons being like the personification of the unknown almost. The more that you go, the more that you dig deep into it. Can you please say hi, Macy Slay Girly? Hey! Welcome to your daily dose of Dragonfeather, my darlings. If I remember, in the Chinese myths, they are descendants of that one emperor, Yellow Emperor, if I remember correctly. Yes, you're thinking about the Yellow Dragon. I forget his name off the top of my head, but he's also one of the dragons within our Dragon Deity database over in the Hatchling Clan Discord server. One of my primary dragon guardians has an owl beak. Yes, I love that so much. I think dragons used to live here on Earth, but eventually went to the astral world. Emery, see, I do not disagree with you. I feel like that is totally a possibility. But how? I don't know. I'm not a dragon, okay? I'm just a girl who follows her dragons, okay? And I'm doing my best to figure it out, you feel me? Wasn't there this story where they discovered dragon bones, but it was someone who put together cow bones in the shape of a dragon? That's so funny, Aisha, but I would not be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Let's see. Oh, thank you for saying I'm pretty, Marley. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragonfeather, my darlings. But see, this is just what I spend most of my time wondering about, okay? I'm just confused because, like, if you want to tell me that dragons are fantasy, can you please tell me why I can find more consistencies around the entire collective consciousness within dragon mythology than I can in, I don't know, anything else, okay? Anything else, my friends, because, like, you just can't convince me otherwise. Like, they're literally everywhere, okay? Like, they are. And, like, to say that, like, dragons aren't real when there's that fact, nah. No, you cannot convince me, darlings. You cannot convince me, darlings. The dragons are real. And it's their world, and we're just living in it. It's Patat's world, and we're just living in it, okay? Hey, lucky number 26, welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Dun, 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 dun. So exciting. We're having a wonderful time tonight. Just talking about some geeky, cheeky, and freaky dragons, okay? We love them, all right? So, I was going to talk about Ninki Nanka really quick from African myth. And the reason why I brought up Ninki Nanka is because it is depicted as a crocodile with a giraffe neck, which is really fascinating, honestly. But it is associated as a dragon within their mythology, so that's why we like consider them a dragon deity in the Hatchling clan database, right? And this particular dragon deity was feared by the people, and some would say this legend may have even come to be just because of like bad things that would happen around the water, or like to basically scare kids away from going to the water, because there are a lot of like dragon myths that are presumed to be created to like basically like bedtime stories that you like tell your kids to like not do stupid things, right? You gotta put the fear in them so they don't jump in the water. You know what I mean? But again, we don't always know. I work with Tiamat. She's my mother who has taught me so much. I found her in my life many times, but recently figured my other kin is one of her kin. It put me into the dragon kin and God shard groups. Yay! I'm constantly learning more from her teachings. Yes. I am also like devoted to Tiamat. She's my matron goddess, and I literally, if you haven't seen my read-along series of The First Sex by Elizabeth Gould Davis, that book that I read here on live is how I discovered Tiamat. And I love that book, despite it being racist and like just offensive as hell, okay? It's a very problematic text, okay? So don't take it for facts, all right? Very racist literature. But the reason why I like it is because, first of all, the author is super spicy, and second of all, she insinuates that like the Abrahamic religions basically stole from Tiamat's Enuma Elish. Basically, the creation myth of Genesis is supposed to be her creation myth from the Enuma Elish, which I think is amazing. Okay, amazing, my darlings. I think it's a fun take, right? But I don't know for sure, right? Like, I don't know. I don't really have proof. I'm just like still looking, right? This is more of like an Easter egg hunt. I should probably, happy host Ostara, by the way. It's more of a dragon egg hunt, right? Because like you're literally having to kind of read between the lines, and then you also have to understand that most of the literature when it comes to like dragon myths are just really depicted in negative ways, right? And like you got like just a complete overhaul of dragon ideals after the Christian Crusades and the Catholic Church basically, you know, condemning dragons as demons, like demonizing them. That's when we get the archetype of the dragon slayer was from the Christians and the Catholics, who were essentially symbolically killing off paganism, okay? So that is where that comes from, which is why I need everybody to understand that any kind of god that's like depicted as a dragon slayer, like in their mythology, but like after the Christian church or the Crusades with Catholicism happened, maybe, just maybe your myths were rewritten. Norse mythology, I'm looking at you, okay? I do, it's true. I actually found your channel a few months ago through Dragonkin research, and Tiamat has been in my life in many ways. That's beautiful. Yeah, the first chapter of Genesis has Tiamat and έψου in the Aramaic language, if I remember. Yes, that's amazing. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I have to learn more about that. I used to really get into Jurassic Park back in the day when I was a kid. Dude, I love Jurassic Park so much. So many people think that Tyrannosaurus Rexes, they're like wings and stuff. Like their tiny little arms were like supposed to be actually wings because like the bones would have just not existed because like wings are made of feathers mostly, right? So if you look at like the skeleton of like any birds, like even a chicken, when you like pluck a chicken and you take their wings off, they have these little chicken wings, okay? So anyway, old Zeus and the patriarchy, down with the old system, needs to not be anymore as time has passed. Yeah, no, I definitely resonate with that. I think that, you know, part of what I want to do on this channel is really just like open the conversation between people of multiple different beliefs and faiths from all over the world, because when we learn about like how we view the world and when we talk to each other about what we believe in, like, you're gonna be so surprised how much more alike you are than you are different. Like, we genuinely believe in such similar things that we're essentially practicing the same thing, but like in different fonts, which is something that like I really find fascinating, and it really makes me feel like home and cozy, you know, because it's like, that's just kind of what it means to be human, you know. It's something that I think is so just magical, and I feel like so many people don't even realize that it's right under our nose the whole time. What? Like they're throwing dragons in our faces all the time. But I have to say, let's talk about Fafnir, okay? So for those of you guys who have been watching my channel for a very long time, I regrettably took the DJ Conway books. Ooh, and she has the elemental dragon guardians in there. Grail, Nalion, Fafnir, and Saris. Ooh, this is tea, guys. Are you ready for the tea? So the god Fafnir has historical backing in Norse mythology, but was never a dragon guardian of fire. That was appropriated by DJ Conway, and I regrettably made it hella popular when we were creating Draconic Wicca together here on this channel. So it's really awkward because now I'm realizing that Fafnir is actually nothing like the dragon guardian of fire. His story goes that he was actually a dwarf that was so greedy and had a hoard of treasure that he turned into a dragon in order to guard his treasure, personifying greed and desire and selfishness as a dragon. I find it very fascinating. The best description, the best depiction of like a dragon like Fafnir that I have ever seen in media is Smaug from The Hobbit. If you have never seen The Hobbit with Smaug in it, where he's like in the treasure and he's like bathing in the coins and stuff, oh my gosh, that is the best depiction of Fafnir I've ever seen, honestly. The best there ever was. Do you look at religion as literal or allegorical? Yeah, anyone who takes religion literally is super problematic. It's called mythical literalism, and we don't subscribe to that here on the channel, and it's actually banned in the Hatchling clan because it's such a problematic stance to have, right? You know, if these were literal things, right? This is what I tell people. If mythology was literal, real, happened, it would be called history, okay? Yeah, say it with me, class. See, he literally had to take a dive for that one. I mean, I am religious. I'm super religious. Like, I'm a Muslim. Like, I'm a practicing Muslim. But, like, that's besides the point, okay? We're talking about the dragons today. And, like, when we study the dragons, right? It's so fascinating to me how literally the dragons are everywhere, okay? And if it's not like dragon deities, you'll literally have like dragon myths. And that's probably why like the Chinese mythology is some of my favorite mythology, is because they have so many different ways of describing dragons. They even have like, you know, different types of dragons that are considered like, you know, earth dragons or like air dragons. Like, actual elemental dragons, like I'm so serious. For example, like their earth dragon version is called the llamaq. It's spelled DILONG. And this is a type of dragon guardian, or not dragon guardian, but I would say like dragon. It's not considered a god. It's kind of a gray area. It's like just a dragon like spirit, if you will, like a divine dragon spirit. And they are considered to be landlocked to the earth. They are considered to live underground, and they tend to either groundwater, and they care for like rivers and streams and things like that. They permeate all of human history. Yes. Are you a dragon? I certainly believe I am. I'm dragonkin, but like my body's human, if that makes sense. Obviously, I am human. We're not that far down the rabbit hole. Okay. But like, I do believe I have the spirit of a dragon, as the way I've experienced it my whole life. But see, this is just my perspective, right? This is just my experience in this world. For me, the way that I've experienced life has always been through like a draconic lens, if you will. Dragons have always been a huge part of my life, and have always been a huge part of my, you know, just my childhood and my studies of like religion and spirituality, and also have just been something that I've always been passionate about. And I love the dragon movies, of course. My grandson said, "You're so cute." Oh, Donna, that's so sweet. Yeah, sister, hell yeah. How do you say your name? Corrupted's alt? I love it. Corrupted's. It's a fun word. But yeah, guys, like I think that, you know, if you are a witch, or if you are a what's it called? If you're like a practitioner of magic, or you consider yourself pagan, or you consider yourself like a polytheist, I definitely recommend looking into the dragon myths of your bloodline. So for example, I'm like Welsh, I'm English, I'm Irish, I'm Danish, and I'm also like Scandinavian. So that means I got like Celtic mythology, Norse mythology, you know, and English mythology as well. But all of that is really kind of like where I recommend people start if they're like kind of feeling lost at working with dragons. I think it's great, you know, to meet like your dragon guardian first and foremost, but I'm saying like even before you take a step into working with dragons, I'm saying a good place to start studying them if you are intrigued by dragons and their mythology and their stories and stuff. So wherever you're from, type in wherever you're from, and then add dragon myths to the end, and you're gonna find some amazing things, okay? It's gonna really blow your mind, and it's gonna make your day, and it's gonna make you come back to this video and be like, oh my god, Azura, thank you so much for telling me to do that, because now I feel like my life has changed, and I will die on that hill, okay? Everybody needs to research the dragon mythology from where they were born, and I promise you, it will blow you away. Corruption spelling of corrupted, so a double negative of the word, metaphorically. I love it. I use it for my online pseudonyms. I love it. That's amazing. Guadalajara, Jalisco? Is there a dragon there? There probably has to be. Hey, Sunny the Red, good to see you. Welcome back to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. We're talking about the dragon deities today. Bum, 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 bum. We love them so much. I literally am obsessed. My whole world got changed upside down the second that I realized that there's some form of like dragon divinity pretty much everywhere. And if it's not a dragon divinity, it's in the mythology, right? So everywhere, okay? Like Arabia, okay? Like not necessarily Islam, but during the like Islamic period, post-Islamic period in Arabia, there is a dragon called Falak. We were talking about Falak today. Spelled F-A-L-A-K or F-A-L-A-Q for the Arabic spelling. And this dragon was influenced by Islam in the way that it is considered to be the dragon at the bottom level of the seventh hell. And it is called the world devourer, capable of swallowing the entire universe and all of creation. And the only reason why it does not do so is simply for the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's almighty power. 100% influenced by Islam, but not technically in the Muslim belief, if that makes sense. So there's literally everywhere. Like you can literally everywhere, right? Mythology means not real, girl, lol. Yeah, well, maybe you need to do some research, because mythology is pretty much the stories that we personify over time to help us collectively remember things. Go read a book. Still a part of culture, my dude. Exactly. It's totally a part of culture, because like everybody needs to like understand that these myths that like we collectively create and remember, they literally come from like our own curiosities. They come from our own wonderings about what is really unseen, like what's out of there, like what's out there, you know what I mean? Like how do we personify our fear? How do we personify our fortune? How do we personify these things? Because that is the key, my friends. Many of us take these like symbols or this like the imagery of a dragon or a serpent, anything like that, and we attach our fears to it, or we'll attach, you know, we'll attach like our gods to it, right? And this is because they just personify something so much far greater than us, but also they absolutely have to be influenced by the creatures that used to live in this world. There used to be very giant snakes that lived in this world, like so big, they were like, what, like 60 plus feet long, like absolutely insane. Are there any implications of dragon in Christianity? What do you mean by that? Do you mean like, are there dragons in Christianity? Yes, there's Leviathan in Christianity. There's always a bit of truth in legends. I absolutely agree. Otherwise, why would we remember that? It says, truth is in everything. Absolutely. Dare I ask the relationship between dragons and jinn? Do any dragons hoard gold outside Fafnir, like in Arabian sand? No. Most of the mythology in the Middle East in terms of dragons, it's not like sand snakes. That's no. It's mostly like from the waters still, or from the void, or they are literally depicted as like destructive forces, if that makes sense. They're either creation or destructive or both forces. And one of the only dragons that really kind of like steps outside of that comes to mind right away is Denwen, which is an Egyptian serpent of fire, literally, which is very like unique. It's very unique actually, in terms of ancient dragon mythology, to have a dragon serpent that breathes fire. The pink thing on your head is super, super cool. This is Potat. For everybody who's new, welcome. Potat welcomes you. He is the channel mascot. He's our absolute child. This is my son. He's so cute and squishy. I love him. We want to make him some sweaters and stuff on the channel, so we'll do that soon. What are your sources? I am referencing mythology from all around the world. And if you're interested in learning some of the myths that I am referencing from my studies over the course of my entire life, I really recommend joining the Hatchling Clan Discord server. We have a dragon deity database where we keep all of these myths that we're referencing. So you can, you can like use them at your leisure for your convenience. It's all there for you. Are you single or taken? I am getting married this year. How exciting. And then we have, where does it say? There's all, yes, there is a bit of truth in the everything. Yes, also the forces of change. That's another thing. And I am not married quite yet. We're getting married in August this year. Oh no, Patat, don't leave us. But yeah, so he is also Muslim, and he is very supportive of the dragons that I do, so we love him. I love the idea of Shiva and dragons. I'm gonna look into that. I wonder if they tie into her many hands or beheading myths. Study the red. So I actually want you to do that, because a lot of the Hindu gods will be depicted with serpents with them. Specifically, one that I learned today was Kali Ma. If you look at some of her imagery, she'll have cobras with her, either golden cobras or black cobras, sometimes brown ones, but usually gold or black. And it is more symbolic than anything else of her, her destructive forces, but also her deeply protective forces. It's kind of like showing both, if that makes sense. I heard an ancient astronaut theorists had said that they were ancient flying spacecraft. Why would you disagree? Okay, let me tell you why that's incorrect, because more likely, dragon myths actually come from our ancient sky, because before light pollution existed, when you looked up at the sky, you could see the galaxies, you could see nebulas, you could see more than just the stars, okay? And in certain places of the world, you can still see the skies like this. But however, what actually is happening in those nebulas, you'll see like how the plasma connects with each other, and that looks very dragon-like. So I think that's a very real answer to why we all have dragon mythologies around the world. Is simply because when we looked up at the sky at night, we saw the stars and we saw the galaxies that looked like dragons flying through the sky. Also, I think that the reason why they're so associated with water is because we have always been unable to go into the water. Our bodies are not made for it, okay? Like, we are very much land-dwelling creatures, and when we do go on water, we have more accidents than not, especially in the ancient past. And, you know, when we were first encountering some of these creatures in the ocean, or in the rivers and the streams and things like that, some of them could have really seemed like dragons to some of us, or serpents, like giant serpents. And of course, some of them were giant serpents, right? You know, just look at the anaconda, just look at the Amazon rainforest. Oh my goodness, you know? So it really just depends. It really, really, really just depends. Funnily, I meant Kali, but I said Shiva. Oh, that's funny, Sunny the Red. No, that's okay. Like, I definitely recommend looking into Kali and her like serpent association, because it's really fascinating. Like, I'm not talking about, like, when I talk about dragon deities, I'm talking about deities that are actually depicted as dragons, serpents, or like reptiles of some kind, or they're like associated as dragons, or they're like beasts of destruction, or they follow like the general consensus of like what dragons do throughout myth, right? So they follow those themes of like shape-shifting, being associated with water, having the ability to bring rain and like weather, bringing chaos and destruction or creation, so etc. That's all of that. My soul is from the water, but my body isn't made for it. Your body is made of water. It's so funny you said that, because like I have a song called Water on this channel, and some of the like lyrics to that song is, it's funny that you think that I'm different when we're both made of water. We're both made of water. It was a good episode, had a lot of interesting dragon info, but needs to have more than the alien theories, though I do believe it's possible dragons could have had in our evolution some 50,000 years ago. Oh, good night, sleepyhead. I hope you have a good one. Yes, it is, but I can die from it. Oh no, it's true. We do not have gills. It's very sad. I wish. Dude, my nickname in school was Jennyfish. My real name's not Azura. Surprise, jump scare. For any of you guys who thought it was, but like, I used to like not be able to stop swimming. I learned how to swim so little, okay? Like, I was swimming on my own before I was 1 year old. I was completely capable of swimming by myself, and I would scare the adults around me. I would jump in the deep end, and adults would jump after me because I was so little, and they thought I was gonna drown, and I just like pop my head up and start swimming away, and they're like, why is this tiny thing swimming in the water? Love it. We love the water. Shout out to my mom for teaching me how to swim when I was a little girl. My mom's a mermaid. I don't care what anyone says. My mom's a mermaid. I digress. She's Pisces too, by the way. Definitely a mermaid. Anyway, so I just love it. Are there ties to mermaids? The ideas of dragons down there in the water is awesome. Yes, Eddie the Red. Let's talk about how mermaids and dragons are actually pretty much more connected than you ever would have thought. So when you dig into mermaid mythology, many of these mermaid myths will showcase how they are hybrids of humans and sea serpents. So in my books, that makes them a dragon, okay? And I will say, I will make this disclaimer, not all mermaids are considered dragons. Like, for example, there's a type of mermaid, what are they called? It's in my book, Mermaids, Myth, Legends, and Lore. They're called Silkies, S-E-L-K-I-E-S. They are believed to be the spirits of drowned human beings, particularly women, that turn into mermaids. So there's that. It's just kind of like, it's very different, you know what I mean? It really just depends, especially where you're going in the world too, because like mermaid myths will change depending on where you go in the world, and a lot of mermaid myths around the world will even depict mermaids with wings. It's actually not uncommon. So I think it's really important for people to deep dive into that. Mermaids are the fairies of the sea. Yes, they are. Mermaids are considered fae. In the grand scheme of things, right? So like you have, you know, fairies, you have mermaids, you have elves that are probably your top 3 most popular, you know, fae peoples. But most people hear fae and they just think fairies, but it's like much more than that, right? It's like so much more than that. I think it's like really fascinating to me too, because like mermaids are really like, in like pop culture, mermaids, dragons, and fairies are very like dumbed down into being like, literally look at Potat, he's like a child toy, right? No offense, I love Potat, I love that for him, but like when you look at like media and stuff, like especially within like for kids, like mostly you're gonna see the mermaids and fairies being peddled towards little girls and like pushed as like a girly thing and something for kids and something that like that's like fantasy or make believe, when it's like there's more history about dragons, fairies, and mermaids being real throughout the entire world than there is like with the Abrahamic religions, for example. There's just so much of a paper trail when it comes to dragons, fairies, and mermaids that it is genuinely so like so deeply rooted in our history, so deeply rooted in like our human psyche, and we call it like pixitization, if you will. That's kind of the word that we like made up in the Hatchling clan to like refer to these ancient creatures, oftentimes very scary. Like the fairies too sometimes are even depicted as even more terrifying than the dragons, even more terrifying than the demons. And these mythical creatures were taken from their almost like all powerful and like scary and, you know, very almost like definitely chaotic, but like almost like untouchable status within myth, and over time through media have just been like cartoonized and made small and made cutesy and made like, you know, like a fairy tale. Basically that's where like fairy tale comes from, is like fantasy and fairy tale and all of that. And it's because they don't want you believing in these things. They're very strong things. You know. Ayakaya was a mermaid, in which its name means she with a lovely voice, among the Neo-Taino nations of the Caribbean, such as Puerto Rico, Cuba, and the Dominican Republic. Tim Revere, that's beautiful. I love that. I'm getting ready to call it. It's 1:30 for me. Have a good night, Azura. Yay! I hope you have a wonderful sleep, and thank you for tuning in, my dear. But yeah, guys, like this is just something that like I genuinely can't get enough of. I literally will never be able to stop researching this, and I'll never learn enough, right? There is literally so many dragon deities and like dragon gods and like dragon like divinities, if you will, throughout history, that they are arguably just as much as the rest of the gods that we know and love from all of these other different pantheons. Like if you can think of all of the dragon gods, if you can think of like all of the regular like old gods, like from Norse mythology and Egyptian mythology, and like from, you know, indigenous mythology, because there's a lot of like Native American myths about like serpents too. So literally everywhere, right? Now I want you to consider all of those gods that we know and love, and let's contrast them by the dragon deities, the dragon divinities, and the dragon like gods and goddesses all around the world within these mythologies too, most of the time. And they pretty much line up with each other. It's almost like they balance each other out. And I'm just like, wait a minute, this is really interesting. Like, I had no idea. I thought like maybe it was just like one in every single mythology. No, some of them have more than like one. Like you have Egyptian mythology that has Apep, you have Denwin, you have Wadjet, and you have, is his name Nehebaku? Dang, I really need to learn how to pronounce these names. But like that's just to name one, right? And then you have like Norse mythology that has Fafnir and Jormungandr and Nidhogger, and like there's so many different ones. And it's just really something that I think people should like pay attention to more. Like I'm literally kind of like, hello, hi, can we talk about this? Like I need to talk about this. You see this too, right? I'm losing my mind over here because I feel like I'm like the only one who's like noticed this sometimes, and I'm losing it. A lot of people don't really like pay attention. It is a dragon, my dear. Ellie, welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. This is Potat, the dragon. He is our channel mascot. He loves you. Please subscribe. It's Potat's world, and we're just living in it. All right, my darlings? It's true. I find it interesting. In English, there's a difference between siren and mermaids, but in other cultures, it's the same word to mean both. Interesting, Sophie. I did not know that. Right now, they used to believe fairies would come steal your babies in the night. Changelings, yes, and there's so many myths about fairies that are absolutely scary. And when it comes to fairies, there's a really big theme around like them messing with human children. Why? I don't know. I don't know how we got here. But like, I think that that's kind of fascinating that seems to be kind of like an overarching theme with fairy mythology. Just like how like shape-shifting is like an overarching theme with dragon mythology. Super, super interesting. Nuit is the sow that eats her children. At the end of the day, she swallowed all life and gives birth to it anew in the morning. She isn't a dragon, but she has a vibe of being the night. Love that, love it. The channel mascot, you have one. That's so cool, girl. I already like you. Oh, thank you, Ellie. We have a fan club for him in our community Discord server. If you're interested in joining the Hatchling Clan Discord server, we would absolutely love to have you. Peter Pan was Fae, 100%. You cannot convince me otherwise. 100%. 100%. He was stealing kids, and nobody wants to talk about that. Okay. Didn't you have a Rayquarzard setting the red? Yes, I do. I still have him. He's in my other room, though. We're still like, how do I join the Discord? It's the first link in the description here on this YouTube channel. So, not this YouTube channel. Well, yes, on this YouTube channel, but on this live video, all you gotta do is click that description box or the description box of any of my recent videos, and it will be the first link for you. Okay, Sophie? We would absolutely, absolutely love to have you there. Cyrena is as well in Sicilian. Ooh, I definitely want to do more deep dives into Sicily. So like, we're going to do some deep dives into New Zealand, into Puerto Rico, into Sicily. And if anyone else has any other recommendations for dragon myths that I should do some deep dives in, because literally there's like, oh, I don't know, about a million ones. Did your link to donate to Palestine end, or is that still up? Okay, so Omar and Mara's donation link has ended, but then if you go to my channel page, like literally go to my actual channel by clicking like my profile icon, and then the links in my bio, like on the actual channel, will have Naima's link, but I also have their links on my link tree, which is also linked in the description of this video. It would be really amazing if you guys could help me feed the watermelon dragons. If I say anything else, I will probably get demonetized. That's what happened with the streams yesterday, unfortunately, but it's fine. I just learned about Spanish dragons. Yes, I will learn more about Spanish dragons too. Okay, so we have Spain, we have Puerto Rico, we have Sicily, and we have New Zealand. And we will start doing that in, what's it called? I'll add more of that into the Hatchling Clan Dragon Deity database, okay? But an older human, I think they manipulated children because they're innocent and have very big imagination, and they haven't known that fairies are fake, quote unquote, so they can see them sometimes. It's just easier, but an older human will, with knowledge, but an older human will acknowledge the danger, but children will just be amazed by it. Yes, Sophia, that's a great, that's a great take, honestly. And honestly, I think that people will also consider, like, what's the word? People will consider, like, some children who are neurodivergent, like, fairies, because we're just so chaotic or something. I don't know. Some people are like that. I know there's some myths that are like that, with, like, fairies swapping us out in the cradle. Oh my gosh, Wilfred Holliman, thank you so much for the super chat. That's so sweet. Thanks for being you. You're so sweet. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I can give you some stuff for both Sicily and Puerto Rico history. Yes, Tim Rivera, I would love that. In the Hatchling Clan Discord, we'll add some more chats under the Pantheon category, so we can have, like, you know, more more specific for some of these, like, geographical locations. I'm so obsessed with your vibe. It's giving my girl right now. You should make a video about making a book about all the little fairy tales you know and love. Oh, I would love to. Yeah, so I'm actually working on writing a bunch of books right now in a series of, like, it's basically like a collection of dragon, like, books about magic and mythology and, like, how you work with them and et cetera, et cetera. my fingers are crossed that it's out in time for Christmas this year, but we are still just kind of like, we're just looking about how we're going to publish these books, because publishing companies don't like what I write about. They don't like what I write about. Whatever. Fuck you guys. Anyway, so we're probably going to have to go with independent publishing, but we're going to see what happens. Have you ever seen the show Static Shock? I have not. Is there dragons in it? I'm super curious. Super curious. We literally have a forest where I am, and it's called Dryads. Yes, I love Dryads. And almost all the trees look like humans or something. Dryads are Greek nymphs that are basically trees, but also look like humans. Yes, Dryads are also considered part of the Fae as well. You are? I'm gonna become broke after buying them. Aw, I'm gonna make them also digital downloads too. So like if you can't afford like the physical copy, you can get like a digital download like really cheap and easy. Cause like I'm not really like here to like make money off you guys. I'm just here to like, you know, mostly what I do on this channel is like community service, to be honest. Like I make plenty of money in my day job. Like I'm good. Like I'm honestly very blessed and very grateful. I am very privileged to be able to offer these things for very affordable prices. So I really hope that these books can get done ASAP so I can, you know, get them ready to go up there for you. I do have one of my books listed on my Ko-Fi, which is in my link tree, but it's like basically Dragon Basics 101. You can also get it on my Patreon, but I digress. I really gotta like I'm probably gonna work on my like description for my videos just so like everything is like super easy for everybody to find. It says, let's see, there's serpentine gods that are the thresholds to the underworlds in Egypt, if you count that. Yes, Seti the Red, I do. You're talking about Apep. We love him. The Egyptians don't, but we love him. He is basically supposed to be like ultimate chaos, darkness, evil, destructive forces. And in my meditations with Apep, what I learned from his symbolism and from his mythology and from just who Apep is as like a deity is he is the most powerful deity in Egyptian mythology. I will die on this hill because he is considered the great adversary of Ra, which is considered like their main god, right? Like Ra is considered like the absolute like pinnacle of the gods. But when Ra, the sun god, goes to his journey through the underworld every single night, he is not facing Apep alone. He is facing Apep with others, like Bastet, for example. And Apep cannot be killed. He's defined as primordial, omnipotent, all-knowing, and essentially Apep is the promise of death. Apep is the promise of destruction. It's the promise of this isn't built to last, and eventually Apep will swallow us whole, whether that be in a black hole, whether that be through a meteor hitting us, whether that be through us nuking ourselves. Insert whatever end. That is Apep, okay? Apep is the absolute promise of this cycle closing, okay? I'm talking about Sokar. Apep is a bit different. Ooh, you're dropping more deities on me. Seti the Red. Did you see? Potat just lost his mind, okay? Potat didn't know. Potat has questions, so we're gonna have to look him up right now. There's literally so many dragon deities in Egyptian mythology, I'm losing it. So we have, let's see, S-O-K-A. Sokar, Egyptian mythology. Is he? Wait. He's not being shown. He's being shown as a hawk or a falcon. The Lord of Mysterious Region, the underworld, the great god with his two wings opened. I love that though. I love it. Is often represented as mummiform and sometimes wears a complex chronicle crown with a sun, disc, horns, and a cobra. Yes. In later times, his most common representation is in the form of Ptah, Sokar, Osiris. Ooh, I love that. I also love your nails. I do nails. I'm 11. Hee hee. I like to do some of my friends' nails. Oh, that's so cool, Ellie. That's amazing. I love the nails. Yes, Apep is also known by the Greek name Apophis. Thank you, Emery's. We love, I love all of Apep's names. He who was spat out. We love him. He's so fun. He's so spicy. But yeah, guys, like I just want to know why. Can someone tell me why they're everywhere? Like, I'm going through an existential crisis because like dragons are everywhere in all of these mythologies and they have names, bestie. These dragons have names. It's not, oh my gosh, it's not just, oh, we have earth dragons, oh, we have water dragons. Like, no, they have names, they have mythology, they have like they have lore, bestie. They have like receipts, okay? Like, that's the thing that like actually blows me away. I'm like, no, what? How is this possible? Like, I can't even tell you guys how much this stuff blows me away. I can't even tell you guys that I literally wake up in the morning every day excited to learn about dragons. That is my life. I know I am very blessed and privileged to do this, to have this life, but Patat. Patat says, thank you for subscribing, Albert. Much love to you. I hope you're having the absolute best day, and thanks for joining your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Patat gives you Patats. I'm about to go to sleep. Good night. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in. Lucky number 26. Kerr specifically was the underworld dragon who once kidnapped Irishikagal. Yes, I love that. Yeah, I love Kerr. He's another one that I love so very much. Like I said, like I'm going to have to probably make a video that just like goes through all of the like dragon deities that I can find by name, like in alphabetical order one day, because like I think that would be just a really good video to have. I want to start divination, like coffee reading and palm reading so bad, but I don't know where to start, bruh. The only way to start is to start making mistakes. I will literally die on that hill. Like, if you want to start practicing something like in your craft, like sometimes you just got to start somewhere, right? Like, if you don't know where to start, you're gonna not know where to start for the rest of your life. I for a really long time like didn't know where to start with like dragon deities and how to incorporate them in my practice, and then I met Pickle Chips, okay? And Pickle Chips has just been like so intense and just difficult to work with, because this dragon guardian beats me in the sense he wants me to just literally learn all the time, and I literally feels like he be dragging me through the world. See what I did there? He be dragging me from Mesopotamia to literally the remote island of Hawaii to literally Canada to literally back into Europe. Like, he's dragging me everywhere throughout these like mythologies and stuff. And I'm like getting whiplash, right? Like, I'm like, wait, was this dragon god from this mythology or that mythology? And it's like, I'm gonna have to make like maybe a quiz that we can all use to learn, because it's a lot, okay? Yes, people call these horns Krampus horns. Can you describe Santa's brother? What's his name? Krampus. Yeah, I don't know if he's a dragon, but like, he's got some crazy mythology to him. But everyone called me Krampus in high school when I wore this, because like I would wear these horns, but then I would add like a Santa hat to the back of it when it was like the holiday season. Everybody loved it. Everybody loved it. He's a demon. Isn't he from like is he from Scandinavian mythology? What's he from? I don't exactly remember where he's from. There is belief that before life there were serpent beings who either emerged or sacrificed to create Ra. Both Horus and Set are also depicted as snakes. Snakes everywhere, dude. I've also heard that that Apep is so mad at Ra because originally Apep was supposed to be like in Ra's place, but then like Ra stole it. I need to like learn more. I think you're right. I think it is German mythology. Yeah, you guys are right. But yeah, I love your horns. They fit your vibe and style. Oh, thank you. I wrote a song about them. If you're interested, on my channel, the song is called Horns. Yes, I wrote a song about my hat because it came from an ex and we hate him. So there's that. Wait, what dragons are in Greek mythology? I need to know because I don't remember, and I love Greek mythology. Yes, they're everywhere. I will do a quick little Google search here. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I know they're there. So let's see. Dragons in Greek mythology. They are everywhere, my darling. You don't even know. You don't even know. Yeah, so we got like we have like the Hydra. That's probably the most popular one. Yeah, you also have like the chimera, which is also considered a dragon as well. So like in Greek mythology, they're not really necessarily like portrayed as like deities, okay? The three-headed beast thing, yeah, that's the Hydra. They're mostly depicted as adversaries, which I think is a very common theme with dragons throughout history, is that they're depicted as adversarial entities to like order, like the gods that were like favorable, that were like positive, if you will. I want the hornet as well. Oh, thank you. I got it from Hot Topic like way back in the day, like in like 2011. I gotta go, but I will watch your next live if you do one. Bye! Love you, girly. Oh, thank you, Ellie. Have a good one. Thank you for tuning in to your daily dose of dragon feather. Oh no, Patat, we lost you. Patat says, have a good day too. Patat. But if you're asking, Sophia, about like a specific like dragon, like god by name, like I genuinely would just tell you the Hydra for the most part, because like they were like more like titans, probably, honestly. But yeah, they're still there though. The dragons are there, and that is the point. OMG, the chimera in Teen Wolf was scaly as fuck. Kind of serpent-like. Exactly. I remember when I searched it up, it seemed much more like a cat or a bird. Yeah, so there's a dragon that guarded a tree in Greek mythology. Oh yeah, there's that as well. Yeah, okay, I think they're titans. Yes, I think they probably are. But see, even Hecate was originally a titan, but now we depict her as a goddess, so like like our depictions of like divinities evolve over time, unless you're literally in Islam. Yeah, Muslims really stick to the oneness of Allah, and that's really just different, okay? Like that's just different. That's outside of what we're talking about. But yeah, dude, like if you like look from like ancient like mythologies, a lot of people will postulate that like mythologies that are like older than some other ones like influence the mythologies and pantheons that come after them, and I think that's totally plausible. I can't like prove it, you know, like 100%, but it's totally plausible, which is why I entertain the idea sometimes, right? But yeah, I really want to know why the dragon deities are everywhere. Can anyone tell me that? Because I there something's happening, okay? Like there's something here, okay? Like this is more than a coincidence when there's so many dragons everywhere. Like somebody has to be seeing something somewhere. So I don't know, man. I don't have the answers, but all I know is that dragons are everywhere and we need to talk about it, and I need to talk about it. And you need to join the Hatchling Clan Discord server, first link in the description of this video, so we can talk about it, because I love dragons. And if you're watching this video, chances are you probably do too. Because they're real. Exactly. That's the only logical conclusion if we use our brains. That is the only logical conclusion. If everybody collectively believes in something that makes it real, thank you. It's gotta be a part of the collective unconscious. That's what I'm saying. I honestly feel like dragons are the way that we personify the unknown. The more that I like literally look into it, or like the forces of like nature and things like that. I just found out you're Muslim witch. That's amazing. But just because I'm curious and I haven't heard about it, can you tell me how it works and what are your beliefs? Yeah, of course. So as a Muslim witch, like I know people might be really shocked to hear this, but I do identify as monotheistic. I only believe in one God. The reason why that might come off as a shock to you is because I'm talking about dragon deities right now, but also I love to like do channeled messages from other deities like Hecate or Tiamat, or insert literally any deity you've ever seen me channel on this channel. And when I do my channeled messages from deities, I'm not like talking to them. Like some people will do that with their channeled messages, and that's like none of my business. I'm talking about like for me personally, the best way I can describe it is like my intuition is like a radio antenna. And the deities like Hecate or Tiamat or Aphrodite, for example, these are like channels on my intuition radio. And I will tune the channel to Hecate when I do my, like, for example, I'll do a reading, right? I'll pull some cards and I'll tune my intuition to the channel of Hecate, and I'll interpret it through how I know her, right? How I know her through myth, how I know her through, you know, people who also work with her and what they tell me, through her symbolism, through her correspondences, through her archetypes and her themes. And what does that mean? That is how it works, okay? I do not worship any other god but Allah. Okay? And this is just kind of how it works in my practice, right? But that's just how I can describe that. Hecate has 3 heads. Not her buds. What? I don't know what you mean. This is a roller coaster. Yes, it is a roller coaster. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. That's how it works out, to be honest. But I'm not like gonna ever try and convert you. That's like literally not. That's literally none of my business. So oh, do you believe they exist but don't worship them, basically? No, I actually believe like all of the deities other than like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like I believe Allah is the creator and everything else is creation, and I believe that includes the other like pantheons of deities. And the way that I experience these other like these other deities is like as aspects of the human condition, aspects of myself, specifically with the goddesses that I work with. So like Lilith and Hecate and Aphrodite are simply different archetypes of who I am as a woman. That's how I interpret them. And that's like really the best way I can describe it, if you will. But this is just my perspective, right? Like if you have like a different belief, like you are so valid for that. Like I'm never like ever trying to convert people or like tell you that like my way is the only way, or that like this is like I found the truth, like everyone else is like false gods, whatever. Like I'm not that kind of a Muslim, okay? Like we're not interested. I'm not interested. I really truly believe that everybody is entitled to experience divinity as they do. I think that that's what makes us human. I think that's what makes us beautiful, if that makes sense. That's just kind of what makes us so unique, you know what I mean? To you, is Allah oneness? No, Allah is the creator. He's one creator. Like the singularity, the one. Yeah, no, yeah. I guess maybe, I think yes, if I'm understanding you correctly. Hecate humbled people very quickly, and I love her very much for that. No, I love her so much. Apep slithers beneath the water of the underworld, which comes back to your water symbiology. Exactly! No, see, and he was also, wasn't he spat out by Neith? Is that how you pronounce the goddess's name? Or the god's name? It might actually be a god, not a goddess. And I think that god is associated with water too. So like literally all of this water theme, right? And I think that, I studied 3 years, that's all I have to offer. No, I love it! At the beginning and the end of existence, Ra took form as a snake eel. Atum and Apep are seen as positive and negative forces of chaos. Obviously, it's more nuanced. No, of course it's more nuanced, 100%. I came back, but I just wanted to say I love dragons and Greek mythology and all of that stuff, so I really gotta go now. So bye, little kitty dragon, good night. Aw, but bye for real, bestie. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much for joining us. Just to understand, you married yourself? Yes, Muhammad. This is what I did first, right? So it's like a ritual, right? It basically means that I'm loyal to myself first. I'm not loyal to anyone else first. Be it a husband, be it family, be it friends, be it anything else. I put myself first because I've been through a lot of abuse in my life, and most of it came from me deliberately not putting myself first. And so this is why I did the ritual of marrying myself, where I symbolically dedicated to myself that I was never going to abandon myself. I was always going to cherish myself for better or for worse, in sickness and in health. And no matter what, I will always be there for me first. That's kind of what that means. But anyway. What is your opposition in, or my opinion, or opposition on angels and demons, Azura? I think they are amazing to work with. I personally am very interested in learning is it called the clip-off? The clip-off? I'm learning more about that, but also the Goetia? The Infernal Divine, yeah, I'm looking into that. Yes, we love Sobek, the crocodile. Yeah, I would consider him kind of, like, I would consider him like a dragon deity by like reptilian standards, but he's not like canon dragon, right? So there's like some nuance in there too, kind of, if that makes sense. But let's see. With the angels and demons, I believe, as Muslim, I believe in like angels and jinn, if you will. I truly believe that demons like came before Abrahamic religions with like the infernals. So I look at like angels and jinn as like opposites of each other. But that's just me as a Muslim, probably. I'm sure people might have a different perspective, but I believe that angels are the agents of Allah, and they serve him. They were created to glorify him and worship him, and they carry out his will, and they are his messengers, if that makes sense. But because you asked about demons, I think that again, demons are something far more than what we have them defined as in a modern sense. I think they're highly misunderstood, and they very much remind me of Dragonfae more than anything else. But then the jinn, I believe that they were created with free will according to the Quran, and they lived here on earth before we did, and they didn't do a very good job, so that's why humans inherited the earth. But that's just kind of where I'm at on that one. I mean, good for you to think like that, but still, sis, that's just cut a lot of your relationships. I'm not sure I understand what that means, Muhammad. Could you clarify that, please? I just might be having a hard time understanding the English. I may write a mini thesis about crocodiles and serpents. No, in Egypt, because there's something there. Amit is a reptile. Yes, I consider them a dragon as well. Eats the heart seems to be about consciousness underworld with Egyptian dragons. Yes, no, exactly. It's actually really fascinating. I could literally study Egypt mythology about like the serpenty reptilian deities for days, and by days I mean the rest of my life, because it's so nuanced and there's so much variety there too. A lot of them are associated with like death in the underworld, but then you got Denwin, which really just throws me for a loop. And so there's just so much there, right? Like there's so much there, and I just really love that a lot. I'll never ever get enough. Never get enough. But yeah, I think what you mean is when I marry myself, I lose friendships, but Muhammad, that's kind of the intention, right? Because people who do not respect that I put myself first have no place in my life. Truly, they are not good for me. Therefore, they are not friendships that I value. And the ones who, support and honor me marrying myself first, including my fiance, they know that it is a form of self-preservation. They know that it is to keep me safe, and they honor that and hold space for that. And that is how I find the right type of people in my life now, is by putting myself first. And I recommend people do it more often, because it's one thing to be selfless and giving. I'm not talking about that. I put myself first. I marry myself first, because that's going to help me find the people who are worthy and deserving of my love, of my generosity, of my selflessness, because I used to just give it to everybody, and that made me lose. I was a loser, okay? I had no identity. I had nothing going for myself. I had constant abuse in my life. And the second I decided, you know what, I actually don't deserve this, I'm putting myself first, that's when my whole entire life changed for the better, and that's how I'm actually not depressed anymore. You know what I mean? And so do you think about starseeds, lol? Oh, Draconic Witch, asking the loaded questions, love. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. I think that is a hot pile of alt-right pipeline. I think the starseed conversation, whoop, we lost him again. We really lost Patat that time, poor guy. I really think that the starseed conversation ends up turning into kind of racial superiority. It starts getting into what race are you? What alien race are you? And the second you put races into spirituality, you've lost the plot. That's weird. That's suspicious. And I think what I do subscribe to is I totally respect people who I totally respect the idea that starseeds come from, right? Where it's okay, I believe that like my spirit is from the stars. Like, totally love that, okay? That's great. The thing that gets weird really fast is when these people believe that they are incarnated from different galaxies around the world, around the universe, excuse me, to this earth to bring about a positive change or to bring about a shift. Like, they're trying to change the world collectively. That, it's giving cult, okay? And it's okay to just be a human being. Like, it's okay to just be a human being, okay? How can I marry myself? I'd love to know how. Tim Rivera, I have a video on my like YouTube channel, not a live stream, but it's like an actual like regular upload. It's called Why I Chose to Marry Myself. I highly recommend watching that video because it is, what's it called? It was my Valentine's Day special that I talked about, because that's when I performed the ritual many, many years ago, was on Valentine's Day. So now like Valentine's Day is a anniversary for me loving myself too, on top of, you know, all of the rest of it too. Like the stream. Oh no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay. No, for real. I am a Valley girl. If you don't like that, please watch my regular uploads. I edit the likes out. I promise. I promise I do, okay? And I should just make a compilation of all the likes because you should like the stream, okay? Perhaps dragons are the anti-venom to unconscious. Dude, I would not be surprised. There's so many reasons why dragons are just the shit, man. Like, and there's so many reasons why, like, everybody needs to learn more about them. And why I feel like, you know, for me in my life, I like see everything through the lens of dragons. That has always been my experience, right? What is going on back here? Why does it look like my horn has an eye? Okay, that was wild. But anyway, starseeds get very scary. Yeah, Tim, I can't do the starseed thing anymore. Like, I had a quick minute where I identified as a starseed, and then I started doing research. Because, like, you have to understand, guys, I've had this, hold on, give me 2 seconds. You have to understand, guys, that I've, like, had this YouTube channel since I was, like, an actual baby. Like, I was so little, like, a genuine minor. And, like, I was very susceptible to things like that as a kid, and like I have had a YouTube channel before like Google has owned YouTube. Like, I am an OG YouTuber, okay? I remember when we used to have widgets and we could customize our YouTube channel page, okay? I was there, girlies. I was there, girly pops. But I will say, I absolutely miss that, by the way. I miss being able to customize. Oh, it was so much fun. I will cry. I'll cry every time I remember that. But like, I used to not know what I was talking about. I was a child, you guys. What do you want me to say? Like, I had no idea what I was doing. I literally had no friends in real life, no family, no support system about this kind of thing. I was totally flying blind on the internet back when there was barely any resources to begin with. Yeah, dude, it's a whole can of worms. I'll definitely make videos reacting to my old content and like clarifying some things because bestie, I didn't know what the heck I was talking about. I'm sorry. like, what do you mean? What do you mean I made Fafnir the elemental dragon guardian of fire who was culturally appropriated from Norse mythology popular? Stop. Oh, forgive me. Oh, forgive me. I don't know what to say. So, yeah, guys, there's just so much, you know, to the conversation, and it's always evolving, and I feel like we're always going to find more. We're always going to just keep learning more about this kind of thing. Like, we just will, okay? Like, there's just no possible outcome other than that. You know what I mean? Like, we're just always going to learn more about the dragons. Like, that's how much there is, okay? And they literally tried to destroy all of this, like, mythology, like, with these crusades and stuff. Like, shout out to our Christian... Ugh. Anyway, the Christian crusades were disgusting. Absolutely sinful. And special place in hell for that stuff. But no, I'm not a furry, but I am a dragonkin. Do dragons like cooking magic? Yes. I actually have a dragon guardian that I work with for the kitchen magic. And while that dragon guardian is not like an online dragon, they prefer to remain offline. But I love the recipes, okay? We love the recipes. I was a child when I met you on here too. Yeah, see, that's my point. Like, we literally grew up together, guys, and like, we're so small, okay? Like, we were so small, and like, we were the first like generation, like, here on the internet, like, who grew up on the internet. And like, as a kid on the internet, I should not have been on the internet, okay? I will be the first person to tell you Azura Dragonfeather should not have existed when she was that little, okay? But she did, okay? We're here now, all right? We're gonna talk about it, our mistakes. I will make a video one day about that because it's really that problematic. It was really that bad. Bro, how old are you? Can you guess? I would love to see if you can guess. I was a child. Oh yeah, yeah, we were both children, like I said. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. 24. Oh, thanks. No, I'm older than that. I met you when you spoke about weed magic in front of your fountain. Nobody else spoke about that. Yes! Oh my god, dude. Back when I had like the cannabis content, smoking with the dragons, flying high, smoking with dragons, dude. I wish. I don't smoke weed anymore for many different reasons, mostly because my health, okay? Health is number one. And also, I'm a singer and it was ruining my voice. I might smoke like occasionally, but really truly it sucks. I like drink weed now. So there's that. I was about 15 when I discovered your videos in Otherkin. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Dragonkin, eh? Never heard of thyself. You mean the Dragonkin or the theorists? Hold on. What's going on here, sir? Sir. 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 Hello. That's see, I can't do anything with these nails. Help. Help. Ah, it looks like a worm. Sorry, that was really obnoxious and annoying. Anyway, I still can't get it off my hood by horns. Subscribe for the cringe. Okay, I just viewed your content and wired, but am interested. I will subscribe. Oh, thank you, Kuhl. Thank you so much. Whatever you called thyself. I just joined. Yay! Welcome to Daily Days of Dragonfeather every single day. Bum, 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 bum. Love your hat. Thank you. I think I was 13-ish when I found your channel. Oh my gosh. I was like 12 or 13 when I started YouTube. I had a channel before this channel, and I will never tell you what it is. Okay, but I used to make skits on the internet before I made this kind of content. And let me tell you, the best thing I ever did was stop making the videos on that channel and started making videos on this channel. So, amazing, amazing, amazing. But let's see. Yeah, so like the weed magic by the fountain, dude. You know, okay, I'll tell you guys something. I used to have, I don't really talk about dragon guardians that I don't work with anymore, but there is a dragon guardian that I had when I was making those videos, that I would like pretty much exclusively work with whenever I did like weed magic, when I smoked it and like did the like weed magic with it. And I no longer have that dragon in my life. We parted ways many years ago. But this particular dragon, like, I'm not really allowed to share too much about it, just because, like, that's just the nature of working with dragons. You don't really share about it, you know what I mean? That's kind of what makes it an occult advanced practice, to be honest. But all of the content that I made back then was very heavily influenced by this dragon. That's why I said flying high, smoking with the dragons. So that's some lore about that. And if you guys are interested, I'm more than happy to make a video about what happens when you and your guardians part ways, because I've never seen a video like that, and I know I've never talked about it. But it's definitely a thing. I know some other practitioners who also have that experience where they, you know, they part ways with certain guardians too. Also, I heard something about the Crusaders for a sec when I found you. Yes, Speedy, we were talking about how the Crusaders really did a great job at destroying a lot of the mythology just in general, but particularly about dragons, and like druidry and like magic with dragons. Like that was like always something that was heavily demonized, heavily demonized, because it was essentially the only thing that was going to outcompete Christianity. And that's why they had to do the Crusades. Otherwise, Christianity would not be the world religion, the #1 world religion right now. As you see some deities as aspects of yourself, do you link that to your DID? Alex, that's a fantastic question. You get 5 gold stars. I am definitely open to it. I genuinely don't know. But if it is the case, then that would be even more of a reason why I'm monotheistic. Isn't that awesome? Like, literally, no matter what, it just validates me. Like, I don't know what to say, guys. I think that I've had conversations not only with hatchlings, but with my fiance, how like pickle chips could be an altar. Although the reason why I know that's not the case is because like pickle chips doesn't like front, right? Like they don't like, I don't switch into pickle chips. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the whole part of like DID, okay? Is like you have switches that happen, okay? And like I don't switch into my dragons, and that's how I know they're not part of my mental like illness. Does that make sense? It's crazy parting ways with deities and guardians. Yes, it is, and I love it. One deity in particular that I have just been working on and off, actually there's 2 of them, that I've been working with on and off for the majority of my life is Isis or Set from Egyptian mythology and the Morrigan from Celtic mythology. They are they're like the only 2 deities that have really been like on and off for me. And the only one that kind of like comes in for a close like 3rd place is Hecate, because I was heavily devoted to Hecate when I was a teenager. That's like why I have this tattoo, partially. Not only for like my magic and stuff, but like the triple goddess aspect of it is like Hecate's like triple goddess version, you know? So she was also like a huge part of my craft when I was little, and then I ended up going through, like I said, a lot of abuse, and I like really lost touch with my practice, and then I ended up you know, having to go through basically a lot of like survival stuff, which I'll talk about one day when I'm ready. And unfortunately that really made me question my path, and then I really lost a lot of loved ones in 2020, including my soulmate Keisha, who was my pet cat. May she rest in paradise. And honestly, you guys, like that fundamentally changed myself as a person. I was very close to completely abandoning magic and the dragons, and I was completely so close to just kind of like becoming atheist again and just like unsubscribing from all of it and stuff like that. And ultimately what kept me going was when I just decided to, you know, research more. I just started researching more of the mythologies, and it just reminded me of my love of dragons again. Like I'll never get enough of it. You know what I mean? Never get enough of it. Which one the most hurt tattoo? Personally, my smiley face hurt the most. So if you guys don't know, I have a smiley face on my leg. I'll show you guys if you don't mind. But it's basically to represent right here, me never stopping smiling. And the eyes on this smiley face tattoo are actually my freckles. So like I have 2 freckles on my leg that I would always like draw a little smiley face on ever since I was like a little girl, and it was always to remind me to keep smiling no matter what horrible things I was going through, because like I said, my life was pretty much like I was born straight into trauma, and it never stopped until like maybe last year, actually. Maybe maybe the very end of 2023, because that's when my roommate moved out, and he was awful. But I won't get into that because I could cause a lot of trouble. I doubt that he'll watch this video. I doubt anyone in my real life will watch this video, so I can kind of say some things. But yeah, that was just not a good experience. Not a good experience at all. Hecate is the only other deity that stayed with me than the others. Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. Every time I'm tripping, I always find this channel, Wheeler Dealer. That's amazing. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. The one, like, I guess, like, beyond the veil that's always stayed with me is Monte, which is my angel dragon guardian. That dragon has been with me ever since I could remember when I was a little girl, and is still with me to this day and never leaves my side unless I'm going through, like, I can think of two to three times that this dragon has left me, and it's never been like for too long. It's always been to like transition me into a new chapter of my life too. So that's kind of what I feel. That's like the one that I feel like the most closest to out of all of my guardians is Monte. And I know Pickle Chips is salty as fuck when I say that, but like Monte is the #1 for me when it comes to my dragon guardians. He always has been, always will be, and that's just the way it is. That is just the way it is, my darlings, you know. He doesn't have free will as an angel dragon, so he pretty much just does what Allah tells him to do. And he tells me that he is my connection to God, and he tells me that he reports my deeds to God. And Monte doesn't really speak at all. Monte really kind of communicates in visions. Where like Pickle Chips, my celestial dragon guardian, communicates very exclusively sometimes in English, and I hate that shit. Like, I'm like, shut up. Why do I have a talking pickle? This is annoying. It's annoying. Do you have a connection with the divine masculine too, either through beings or your own shadow work? Yes. So the divine masculine I connect with is right now has mostly been with Thor. Working with Thor has really healed my connection to like the divine masculine, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has also really healed it in the sense that like Allah is referred to as a he and a him only because the language, those are the dominant pronouns, right? But in the Quran, it says that Allah is above like gender, right? Because Allah created gender. So when you associate gender to God, you're actually associating partners to God, which is considered shirk, or one of the worst sins you can do. And that is because when we associate like a gender to God, then we start, you know, worshiping men, or we worship like women, or we worship, you know, the two spirits people, for example, or we worship like non-binary or whatever like that. But it's like, we don't need to be worshipped. That's kind of the whole thing. Like, we're not supposed to be worshipped. We're supposed to be worshiping. At least that's how I understand it, if that makes sense. Do you have a Theron mask? You mean like an actual one? No, I don't. I don't have a Theron mask. But when it comes to the divine masculine, yeah, Thor's really helped me with that. And slowly I've been, you know, connecting with more like deities, but I've always connected with masculine energy through dragons when I was young. Now I associate dragons with the divine feminine. But Fenrir, which is another Norse god, he's a wolf god, one of Loki's children. He has also been a huge help for me in my, just in my journey with the divine masculine. But honestly, I really struggle to connect with the divine masculine, mostly because of the abuse that I've went through. When I try to, it feels like I'm worshiping my abusers, and that I probably should go to therapy for. But that's just kind of where I'm at with that. And maybe I'll make a video talking more about it. So there's that, you know. What version of the Quran do you recommend for beginners? I'd love to read along next time you discuss. So in my Quran videos, I have a link, and there's also a link in the Hatchling Clan Discord server. You can read it for free, okay? And it's this version. It's called The Clear Quran, English Only. This is the one I'm going to recommend you guys to read if you want to read an English version of the Quran. It is by Dr. Mustafa Khattab, and it is pretty much recommended by scholars to read this one if you want an English Quran. And this is the one that you'll see most people who are doing street dawah, or like if you see people who are like, you know, going on the street and talking about Islam, or they'll have booths like on like, if you guys know who the Warner is, he's one of our buddies. He's absolutely amazing, and he like goes to like Santa Monica Pier, sets up a like table and like has this version of the Quran, as well as like janamas or prayer mats for people to take for free, because it is considered a sin to charge for the Quran and to charge for anything about Islam. That is literally written in the Quran. So yeah. Are you Muslim? Yes, I am. Thank you for asking. Show us something interesting. Okay, let's see the janamas. So for those of you guys who don't know, this is what Muslims pray on. This is called a janamas. And this is where Aladdin, the magic carpet from Aladdin comes from. This is what it is. It's very kind of racist, honestly. But like basically you stand on the mat and then you use this to pray. And this is the Kaaba, which is in Mecca, which is the direction that Muslims face when they pray. We're commanded by Allah to face Mecca wherever we are in the world. And the way that this mat is facing towards Mecca right now, because this is just how my fiance and I practice. I personally am on my period right now, so I'm not supposed to pray. For Allah commands me to rest, and I am so grateful for that, because every time I bend down to pray on my period, I make my cramps worse. Wow. That sucks. You sit on Mecca? No, it's just the mat, man. It's just a mat. Do you have any hijab? Yeah, I do, actually. This one is actually a hijab that was given to me by my fiance's mother. It came from Pakistan, and when I took my shahada in November 2023, when I was in Canada, I went to my fiance's like childhood masjid to take my shahada, and my soon-to-be mother-in-law gifted this with me because she was so proud of me, and I love her so much. I love it so much. How long have I been? What is halala? Do you mean shahada? I'm not sure. I don't recognize that word. I do apologize. But it says completely random. But do you like Buffy? I've actually never seen Buffy. Is it the vampire? Is it the Vampire Slayer? It's not the Dragon Slayer, is it? I don't know. I've never seen it, but I've heard it's good. I've been Muslim for a little bit over a year. It will be 2 years in November this year. Excuse me. So November 2023 is when I reverted to Islam. So that's going to be November 2023 to November 2024. And then to November 2025 will be 2 years. So that's the one. And I basically was in the closet for a long time on this channel, like, because I just wanted to make sure that like I knew what I was talking about, and I was being respectful, and I was educated enough to answer questions, and I wanted to make sure it really like sat well with me, and I wanted to make sure that, you know, it was like something that I truly knew was going to be the path for me. And I literally only looked into Islam after seeing the Palestinian suffering and seeing how they were praising God when they were losing everything. I genuinely didn't understand that level of faith. So I picked up the Quran, and I was raised Mormon. So I've always had like a belief in God, and I've always been vocal on this channel about how I'm a witch who believes in God. I just never knew about Islam. And so when I finally picked up the Quran and read it, I realized that I was already Muslim because of my belief system, and I was pretty much anxious to take my shahada ever since I read it. And it's a beautiful religion, and I literally am treated so much differently in my like relationship now, in the sense that like in a good way, right? Like I have been like I like reverted to Islam in a way that like made my fiance, who was born Muslim, want to start practicing like for himself again. Like he was raised with it and like had the prayers memorized and like knew what to do and was like, you know, like very like knew about that, but like he was never like taught like the Quran in English. Like he never read the English Quran until after I reverted to Islam, which I found really fascinating. And when I go to the local masjid, you know, for Ramadan, I was supposed to go tonight, but I just genuinely did not feel good enough to go. Like my cramps are killing me, so I didn't go because I didn't want to just like take up like a prayer space for other people too, you know, because normally I just like rot in the corner of the masjid in the back when I don't feel well. It sucks. But basically, like, you know, it's just like, I don't know, man, there's something about Islam that just really really feels so holy and sacred, and the way that I'm just so appreciated and loved and cherished in a different way. And like, you know, my, like, the shift that I saw in my fiance, like, he was just like, you don't ever have to worry about anything ever again. Like, I just want you to do what you love, and I want you to be happy. Like, I want you to have nice things. Like, I want you to know that, like, I'm always gonna take care of you. Like, and he does everything, like, for me. Like, and I am, alhamdulillah, he is the sweetest man that I have ever known, and he is more of a man than anyone I know. And like, I just literally feel so blessed by Allah to have him in my life. And you know, that's something that I also have never experienced, is just the way that I'm respected by Muslim men is so strange for me after all of the abuse that I've had, especially from men. It's unparalleled, honestly. Like, they literally will do anything, honestly, at least the ones that I know, right? Like, I can't speak for everybody, I can only speak for the ones that I know. But anyway, can you say hi, Amna, please? Hello, Amna. But anyway, my shocked face. Yeah, I know. Everyone says I need to watch it. They say it's really good. Jory Cobstrong released a video exposing animal abuse in a halal factory on YouTube. How do you make sure your halal food is actually halal? So we have local butchers that we go to. And we also have some brothers at the masjid who kill their own chickens, and we'll buy them from them. So that's how we make sure that our food is halal. Because factory halal is not halal. Like, sometimes we'll get like halal fast food, but that's like a treat, to be honest, and we're not gonna like buy it unless it's like strictly halal, right? So like, there's a place where we live called Cajun Chicken, and it's basically like halal fried chicken. But like, unfortunately, like, again, it's like, you know, mass produced, so like, I'll never like technically know for sure, right? But like, this is why, like, I'm not gonna like normally eat there. Like, it's something that like maybe I'll go if I'm like on my period or whatever. But like, when I'm like on my period, for example, like, my fiance, he goes to the like local butcher, the local halal butcher, and he'll get me halal steaks, because like, I have such bad like health issues when it comes to my period. The only thing that really makes me feel like nourished on my period is like genuinely steaks. It sucks. I'm learning so much. How do you handle fasts without feeling sick? Honestly, that's part of it, right? Because like, when you fast and you get like headaches and stuff like that, or you feel sick, like, that is your body detoxing. And that is the whole point. Like, that is the whole point of fasting. But like, also, like, we fast in Ramadan more so to deprive ourselves of desire for this dunya, or this world, like the 3D world. We do it to remind ourselves of how the poor live, and we do it to remind ourselves of Allah. And that is why we do what we do. We end up, you know, fasting from, and it's not just food, right? You're supposed to fast from sex, you're supposed to fast from, you know, media, you're supposed to fast from as much as you possibly can. And sometimes you're literally supposed to fast from the entire world. And what do I mean by that? For those of you guys who don't know, there is the last 10 days of Ramadan, there is a act of worship you can do called itikaf. And what that is basically, for the last 10 days of Ramadan, you go into a seclusion, basically where you isolate yourself. The men will go to the masjid, and sometimes the women will go to the masjid, but for the most part, the women will do it in a secluded place at home, because the whole point is to kind of be separate from, like, especially if you have like a husband, for example, you're supposed to be separate from your spouse to not be tempted to do any like sexual things, because you're only supposed to focus on worshiping Allah for Ramadan. And it's considered highly rewardable, if that makes sense. Ramadan Mubarak! Yay, that's amazing! Juma Mubarak, yay! Can I practice Ramadan even though I'm not Muslim? Of course you can, Study the Red. May Allah guide you, and may you have fun. You know, like, if you have any questions, please let me know in the HATCHLING clan, and I'm more than happy to help you. But yeah, dude, like, I unfortunately have, due to my health issues, I've been on my period for the most of Ramadan. So basically, for people like me who have chronic health issues who are unable to fast, what I do is I simply donate to the poor. So I'll donate meals to the poor, I'll donate, you know, like lump sums of money to people who need it, or I'll just, you know, do whatever I can to provide for people who have like needs and have like no resources. So when I can't fast, I feed the poor instead. That's kind of how that works. So how are you, Rick Nasty? I'm doing good. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Woo! So I hope that makes sense though. I think I will say this Ramadan has been life-changing for me. I will definitely be making a video about it, about my experience with it. I literally could not tell you the experience of going to, going to the masjid, and praying with my sisters and meeting my sisterhood and having them help me learn how to wear hijab. I'm literally like, you know, meeting 8-year-olds that are like, have the Quran memorized in Arabic and they're reciting it to me by heart. And I'm just like, wow, these kids are prodigies. And are you even fasting? No, not right now, my love, because I'm on my period. But I just like, it's so beautiful and so inspiring, and they're always so happy to, you know, help me. And it's so wonderful too, you know, like gaining a sisterhood overnight. I was never expecting that. Like what? So it's honestly been really amazing, really amazing. I have chronic health issues too. It truly sucks. You're an inspiration. Oh, I'm so sorry you have that. That's so sad. You know, it's really difficult to have like all of these things, you know, like in our way sometimes. And I have like so many nights when I break down to my fiance about like how I just want to like be able to worship without being in pain. Like I'm constantly in pain and the doctors don't do anything for me, and I'm still trying to find a doctor that can help me, and like, you know, they're always just like, take pills, take birth control, and they're always just like, you know, get your uterus removed, and I'm like, really not interested in surgery, honestly. Like, maybe just address the problem. You don't need to remove my damn organs, okay? Like, clearly that's not the problem here. But I digress. It's difficult with the chronic health issues and stuff, and it's always been my journey, you know? It's something that I inherited from my family. It's always been that way. And when I ask my family about it, they're like, just have kids. My period got better after kids. But that's not in the books for me. So I don't really know what to tell anyone other than like, just could do my best. But luckily for me, in the masjid that I go to, there's a little like part in the back area where like all of the like elder women or the women on their period like pray. And they have like chairs set up, so like I can like pray on a chair, which is like actually like really lovely. That's like really fun too if I like, you know, can't do it all the way. And then some of my sisters at the masjid showed me a way to pray when I am on my period, but like on the ground. Like, so I just like kneel the whole time. I don't like do like the whole bending down and standing up. So there's like still a way to do it, you know what I mean? So, and that's kind of like what I like to focus on for sure. Who are the fastest readers? Oh, I don't know. I have found a lot of my issues come from the nervous system. Yes, that's why I do what I do. One day I'd love a video all about managing chronic health if you're open to that. I'll let other people talk now. No, you're absolutely right. Because my entire spiritual practice is centered around my nervous system and centered around regulating my chronic health issues and regulating my traumatized nervous system, because I've been through so much abuse in my life. That's why I identify as a Muslim witch, and I never will not, because witchcraft helps me regulate my nervous system, Islam helps me regulate my nervous system, and also dragons help me regulate my nervous system, and I'm not hurting anyone. So only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can judge me, and may he have mercy on me for, you know, doing what I do to regulate my nervous system and doing my best to create a space where other people feel safe enough to share their experiences too. because at the end of the day, we are all human beings and we all have our own perspectives and we all have our own stories that we come from, and everybody is entitled to explore their religious freedom. And I will die on this hill, okay? As long as you're not hurting anyone, or as long as you're not like oppressing other people, as long as you're not othering other people, that is when it becomes the problem, okay? Like that is when it becomes the problem. And that is something that I love about the Quran. The Quran literally says that to oppress somebody is worse than killing someone. Let me repeat that. The Quran says to oppress someone is worse than killing someone. Mwah. Love this book. And so I don't really care what anyone says. Like the second you try to tell somebody who they can and cannot be, you've lost the plot. Okay? You just have, because everybody's in their own everyone's in their own world. You know what I mean? What do you mean othering other people? Okay, so like when I mean like othering, I mean like so for example, like some Christians will be like, anyone who's not a Christian is other, right? Like, so if you're not Christian, you're other, right? Like you're not one of us, kind of thing. Like you're not invited to the cookout, you're not invited to the picnic, right? Like something like that. This is the best way I can describe it. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with that one. But yeah, I really love Islam so much, and it's really cool too, because like my sisters at the masjid, they love hearing me talk about my witchcraft. They love my YouTube channel, which is really wild actually. And they think that pickle chips is just a good Muslim jinn, to be honest. But for the most part, they really have a different definition of witchcraft, and I'm still learning more about it, because, you know, it's a cultural thing, right? So like everyone around the world has like different definitions for different things, and like that's amazing to me. Like humans are so fascinating in that sense. And so I think with the whole globalization, or just like with the internet and us being so interconnected on a global scale, all of these different definitions of the same words are like clashing. And like that's how that's honestly how we get like, you know, what's the word, we get like violence against certain people, if that makes sense. So there's that. I totally agree. What are you wearing? It's my horned hat. I wrote a song about it if you're interested. It's on my YouTube channel called Horns by Azura DragonFeather. And it's about how I got this hat from an ex who was horrible to me, and how regardless of him giving me my horns, now I'm spreading my wings and I'm flying away and being my own person, making my dreams come true, being the dragon that I was always meant to be. So there's that. What would you do if I gifted $500? I would be very grateful. You are invited to the cookout, not excluded. Aw, that's sweet. Yes, Jesus loves you and not hates. We love Jesus on this channel. Peace be upon him. He's one of my absolute favorite figures throughout history. I think Jesus is incredible. I think everybody needs to learn about Jesus. I feel like he's literally so misunderstood. I feel like everyone thinks he's God, and he's just not. He's a prophet of Allah, and he was here to teach us how to love our neighbors like we love ourselves. Oh, hi. Oh. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, and like we have so many friends too, like, you know, like Muslims and Christians and Jewish people should all get along. Like we love each other, we worship the same God, like it's great, you know. No, I'm good. I don't need to be Christian. I don't need to worship Jesus, thank you. What are your favorite vegetables and fruits? Dragon fruit. But I bet you could guess that. Come on, man. The dragon fruits, man. But cucumbers. Cucumbers are the best veggie. Cucumbers are the best veggie. No, for real, they are, my friends. Because why? That's how we get pickles, okay? Pickles are the greatest. Duh, 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 duh. Pickles are the greatest. Duh, 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 duh. Okay. Anyway. We have to let you guys know something. One thing that I love, actually, is that the more you study dragons, the more there's, like, this debate that, like Yeshua is a dragon. Oh, I love this, okay? So, like, I honestly should make a video about this. Actually, wait a minute, I think I did do a live stream about this. just because, like, again, like, the more you study history, and like especially when you study the history of dragons, this is what's gonna blow you away. The history of dragons is truly like the glue that holds all of like mythologies together, and it's kind of like the invisible string that like stitches us together through our faiths, right? So fascinating. Where's Potat? Potat. Potat is rocking out on the horns. No, he fell. Poor thing. Poor thing. Hold on, stay. Stay, my darling Potat. He's for, oh, by the way, Potat is our channel mascot, so subscribe. Subscribe for Potat. Potat, Potat, Potat. Can men have babies? Yes, they can. Not many, though. Not as many as you would think, but yes, they can. Anyway, I'm moving to the ground because I'm tired of holding the phone. I'm gonna see if I can set this up, to be honest. Hold on. Excuse the mess in the background. We are doing laundry. Let me know. Let me know if this is too loud. Is the thing too loud? Let me know if the fan's too loud, because it kind of sounds like it might be. So anyway, but yeah, my friends. So here we have Potat. Potat. The extreme. I love your dress. It slays. Oh, thank you. It's like my cozy dress. But yeah, you guys. So like, my whole point out this stream was just to talk about how like when you study world religion and like you literally insert any religion or insert any like geographical location or insert any like cultural like name for a people and then put dragon myth at the end of it, and you're gonna find dragon mythology. Like, you literally will, because it's just such a universal theme for humanity to have some sort of belief in like a dragon or a serpent or some sort of scaled beast in any shape or form. And it's usually like the personification of the unknown forces of, you know, the creation or destruction itself. Do you know what I mean? Luke, welcome to your daily dose of Dragonfeather. We are talking about dragon deities. It's super exciting. Like throughout mythology, right? So I'm talking about like Leviathan and Tiamat and Apep and Jormungandr, just to name a few. So these are like the deities that I work with in my particular practice, and my magic and my practice as a dragon witch and as a draconian really revolves around these dragon deities. And the reason why is because it's not just like something that I make up, right? Like, I can actually research history and learn about these from ancient cultures, ancient peoples all around the world. It is an anchor in my craft, right? I have to follow these mythologies first, otherwise I'm just making things up. This is what I really recommend people do when they do any sort of deity work. Always first tap in with the mythology. It's really important to do that. It's really important to, you know, do your research and look at who your sources are coming from, okay? Ooh, girl, a dragon breath witch. That's funny, actually, Kevin. 10 out of 10. That was good. I have a TikTok. One of my TikToks that's pinned, it's like achievement unlocked, and one of the achievements is dragon breath. I'm so serious, Kevin. You're so real for that. I'm not gonna lie. Oh no, Potat fell, the poor thing. Put it back. Gotta put it back. Okay. So yeah, that's just kind of like how it is. You know what I mean? I want to buy your books. I promise they'll be out soon. What is the best deity for erotic love? Probably Aphrodite. Probably, like what? That's all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean? It's a little, but I can still hear you. Here, I'll turn it down. I don't want to bother you guys. How's that? Is that better? Better? I think so. Now you can really hear me. Dragonology. Yes, so that was like the first book that really, and that's why I have the Dragonology book linked here on my YouTube channel. If you want to buy it, I 100% recommend it. It's not just for kids, okay? It's a great read, all right? It was the literal like introduction to me, right, to learning about dragons all around the world. There's like a page in there that has like a map of everything that shows the dragons from all around the world, and it is so fascinating. And it's always been so fascinating to me ever since I was a little girl, simply because I'm like, okay, well, like if there's dragons everywhere, and there's like every single place around the world kind of has their own like different description of dragons and different depiction of them, then how are they not real? Like these cultures could have never interacted with each other in the ancient world. Like they had, like even on remote islands like Hawaii and the Caribbean islands and New Zealand, like there was no way for these like ancient cultures to have interaction with each other, and yet they still have similar myths, right? So dragons are good or evil. They're kind of both. Like they're depicted differently depending on what story you're reading. Sometimes they're like evil's a strong word, right? It's just like they're kind of like all of the spectrum of like universal forces, right? In terms of like evil, the way you're asking, an evil dragon, if you will, would be considered like Apep, for example, from Egyptian mythology. But then like a good dragon would be considered like llamaq from, you know, Chinese mythology. So like it really just depends, if you know what I mean. Dragons are currently living in South Florida. Kevin, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. 10 out of 10. Kevin knows what's up today, okay guys, just so you know. How do we know if dinosaurs were a real thing? Same goes with dragons. I mean, we actually have fossils of dinosaurs, but we really are doing our best to kind of like piece it together, right? Like we don't necessarily like know for sure, I guess you could say, like what the dinosaurs looked like through their fossils, because we don't really have like a full complete skeleton of any of the dinosaurs. I know that's kind of shocking to a lot of people, but it is true. There's just really not that much. So I am going to, hold on, I need some medicine, so I can't be drinking it online. I'll get in a lot of trouble. So we're just going to pour some tea into a glass because I do not feel the best, guys. It's been a hard life in this body. Genuine concern. You should be concerned, brother. I'm very concerned, because why are we demonizing dragons when they're everywhere? There's got to be a reason for that, okay? I'm very concerned. Thank you, sir. But yes, when a demon drags you out of bed, where are they actually taking you? From their right mountain. Who knows, man? That's funny, Patrick, you're funny. Dragons were real, just not sure about them being fire-breathing or able to fly. What you say? I honestly think that dragons are real and they live in the ocean. Please come to Pakistan. Yes, I would love to. I have so much family in Pakistan now, like in-laws in Pakistan. So I really hope I get to go there. So is there a connection between dragons you're talking about and the alien reptile people? Okay, so South Pole, beautiful question, you gorgeous human being. Okay, let's talk about it, okay? Because I hate this conversation. So the practice, Draconianism, that I practice, or Draconians. Yes, I'm a Draconian. Hi. The word Draconian derives from a dude somewhere named Draco, who made laws that were very strict and harsh, like basically evil laws. That's why you get the term Draconian law. But the term Draconianism, or the practice Draconianism, is about becoming the light in your own darkness. It's about walking the path of the dragon to become a living god. And while I don't believe I'm a living god, okay, it's like essentially becoming the creator of yourself and the creator of your own path and your own reality. And a lot of people tie in reptile, alien, lizard people through the constellation Draco, and through, all right, we're going to take the constellation Draco, we're going to take alien theories, and we're also going to take starseed stuff. We're going to mush them together, and then we're going to sprinkle a little bit of draconian law on top of that, and that's where we get the stereotype that there are lizard people running the government, and that is so not it, guys. It's not real. It's a conspiracy theory that's like in the wrong department, okay? Because they were so close to getting it right, but they failed, and it sucks. I like dragon as a fiction. I like dragon as a mythology. Chat needs to relax. Yeah, the chat's losing their minds. I do have God, actually. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I am Muslim. We love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's nice. Chat want to fix everyone. Honestly, Kevin, like, there's no need to be so rude, my friends. Like, although it's so funny because, like, the hate that I get online is just like nothing like that I get in person. Like, people, like, you have to understand, like, people leave like really rude comments to entertain themselves, like, and let them. It's great engagement. Please keep hating on me in this chat, you know what I mean? You know, Allah's the only way in terms of what you're talking about, John Doe. I'm drinking some tea. It's delicious. So cheers, my friends. Please have a snack or a drink if you want to hang out with us. But yeah, guys, so like this is kind of like something else that this is something else that I wanted to talk about before I head out of here. So in my lifetime, like, I've always, like, ever since I was a little girl, just very much been involved and in love with the dragons. And I also was severely abused in the Mormon church, and I'm not going to go too much into details about it, but I was raised Mormon. And when I left the Mormon church, my love of God never left me. But because of the abuse that I faced, because of how awful it was and how much it scarred me, I projected that onto God, and I said, God is evil, God is dead, God is, you know, whatever, right? And it was always my dragon guardian Monte when I was a kid who told me, it was never God who hurt you, it was only the hands of man. Please hold on to your faith, little dragon. That was like always what was impressed upon me by my dragon guardian Monte, who I now know is an angel dragon, and my connection to God, and has always been my connection to God throughout my lifetime. And this is just my personal experience, you know what I mean? Like, I really only get on this channel to share my perspective and to share my spiritual journey. This channel has always been like a diary for my spirituality and seeing if first magic was real, and then I wanted to learn more about dragons, and now we're just learning about all religions and faiths and spiritualities throughout the world because there's dragons in all of it. And it's honestly one of the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experiences that I have the honor and the privilege of experiencing in this lifetime. And I share it with people here on the internet because I'm just trying to offer a different perspective. I'm trying to show an example of how to be your geeky, cheeky, and freaky self, of how you can be exactly who you want to be, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you want to be somebody who believes in God and dragons, like, you can do that. Like, if you want to be somebody who worships Cheetos, like, you can do that. Like, I don't know why, but like, you'd want to, but like, you can, you know what I mean? So I think it's just really important. Oh, Seti the Red, thank you so much for the super chat. That was really sweet. I really appreciate it. That's so sweet. Thank you guys so much for all the support in today's stream. It's like really been kind of like, really been amazing. I'm in New Orleans. We practice voodoo. Yay, I love voodoo. There's also dragons in that practice as well. Do you know them, Kevin? Are you familiar with Damballa? No. I will do more videos. I promise. He's a rainbow serpent, by the way. He is. He's beautiful. 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 So what do you say to people who don't believe in God? I say that's totally valid. That's totally valid. I don't know where all these people are filtering in from. No, I'm pretty sure that you know, when people are scrolling on like the YouTube short pages, like sometimes you'll get like lives in between them, and then if like somebody jumps into a live, then like sometimes you'll just get a bunch of people like jumping in. So best of luck. Hope you have a beautiful life. Thank you so much, South Pole. Have a good one. Hey, religion created science, by the way. I mean, that's what I try to tell people. Like the first like scientists were like witches. Why? Why don't we understand that they're all connected? Why don't we understand? Shout out to the mods, Tragic Nostalgic, for absolutely coming in clutch in this chat right now. Absolutely beautiful. Of course, everyone has free choice, but it doesn't mean every choice is right. I could say the same thing about you, brother. People are sheltered. Yeah, and they also create their own little echo boxes online, excuse me, echo chambers online. And if people don't actively seek out like new information or a new perspective or like learn about people who were not themselves, like they're never gonna grow their minds, you know what I mean? Like they're never gonna like expand that perspective. They're never gonna expand that bubble, if you will. And so some people who like literally like hate on me online, like literally have like been Christian their whole life and all they know is Jesus is God, and I honestly have pity on those people because like they deserve to have, you know, informed consent about what they believe in. And you know, that particular religion really encourages you to like never renounce your faith in Jesus and to convert as many people as you can and to never question your faith. And if you do, like you were beat for it. Like that is something that I experienced in that faith, which is just absolutely disgusting. You know, and something that I really love about Islam is that it encourages you to challenge the Quran. It encourages you to question your religion, and it encourages you to, you know, try and seek something else. And I love that. And whenever I have questions about like Islam or the Quran or anything like that, all I have to do is ask my elders or ask the scholars or ask the imam, and they always have an answer for me, you guys. And that was never the case when I was in like growing up in like the Mormon church or the Christian church. Like I was always shamed and sometimes even like hit with the ruler for asking things, okay? Like so disgusting. Disgusting. You should never do that to a child who has questions, okay? Like children are curious, they want to comprehend things. They don't want to question your authority or whatever that means. All I'm gonna say is that like, you know, everybody's entitled to believe what they believe in, and like I'm never gonna like be somebody to like try and convert you to like what I believe. I'm not trying to say like my way is the only way, right? Like it's not. Like my way is my way. Do you understand? Like my religion and my practice and my faith is mine. It's for me, and I simply share it because when I do, I learn so much about you. I learn so much about the world and how people have different belief systems. And that is so beautiful to me. And I'm just trying to create a space where we can all discuss and learn from each other because it's so fascinating to me. And I think that the more that we learn about each other, the more that we realize that we're more like each other than we're not. Like we're more alike than we are different. And all I'm here to do is offer a different perspective for people who, you know, maybe have never had like maybe never had like that alternative perspective, if you will. So cheers, my friend. I served and fallen. The LSD, oh, the Latter-day Saints missionaries were awesome and kind to me. That's amazing. Always intersect like a beautiful spiderweb. There's enough room for everyone. Oh, exactly. Oh, Doggy Liver, thank you for subscribing. You got me interested in Dragon Magic and to start practicing it. It's so cool to see that you go live. Hell yeah, Milo's World. You are more than welcome to ask questions anytime. I do my best to answer all the questions that I get. But if you want like more specific like help about Dragon Magic, please do consider joining the Hatchling Clan Discord server. It's the first link in the description of this video. It's a free resource I created for you guys just to discover the magic within you, but also to learn about religions and faiths and like spiritualities throughout the world. But we do have a focus on dragons because we're a bunch of dragon lovers over there, and Potat has his own like fan club. So you definitely have to join us. We like need to have you there, okay? Because like it's like the coolest place to be on the internet, and like I am biased, but I am like owning that shit because like we work so hard as a community to build it together, and like we learn so much together. And we have a dragon deity database over there as well as like a free Quran class, so which is going to resume tomorrow. All right, so we'll be doing Quran class tomorrow. We might change the time of it just because it's Ramadan. I won't be able to do the stream at 6 p.m. probably because that's when I go to the masjid, so I'll probably change the time tomorrow to 4 p.m. So there's that. Can Pickle Chips tell me to clean my room, please? Yes, Alex. Pickle Chip says you always need to clean your room. And he's telling me I need to do the same. Fail. You know, but it's really hard to clean when you have a lot of, you know, chronic health issues, and I try to be so like gentle on myself for that. But I'm very fortunate that like my fiance like helps me do pretty much everything. Like, he's the sweetest man ever. Do you celebrate the winter solstice? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Allah is Lord on this channel, but Christ is a prophet of Allah. So that's just the perspective we have on this channel, but everybody is totally welcome to have their own perspective. I just want to like kind of like make it clear like where I'm coming from here on the channel in case you were new. Do you think you'll have services by next year, like coaching, etc., or is that a 5-year dream? No. I already have a Patreon where I offer a mentorship if you're interested. But in terms of like something that's like more, what's the word? Something that's like more substantial, something that's more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a course, like you're asking. We're working on these things, right? Like I said, most of the content that I'm working on this year is based around things like my books, things like courses, and things like, you know, getting my website up and things like that and stuff like that. Are you Muslim? Yes, I am Muslim. What are you talking about? Today I'm talking about the mythology of dragon gods throughout the world, and how there's pretty much like an overarching theme between all of them, and dragons and their mythology is pretty much the thing that humanity has most in common in terms of like belief systems. Believe it or not, even groups of people who believe in entirely different, like, you know, religious perspectives, or they have different cultural practices, they usually still have some kind of, what's the word? Some kind of dragon myth, be it like a genuine like canon dragon, be it like a serpent, be it like, you know, like a crocodile or like reptilian in some way, some kind of a beast that's like scaled or like breathes fire or has like, is like attached to like the weather and things like that. So that's kind of what we're talking about for today. I am from the United States of America. I currently live in Los Angeles, California. And we are out here. We are. It's a really difficult place to live. I call it the Shadowlands. But I digress, my dears. I digress. I'm very fortunate because like I work in the entertainment industry, like that's my day job, and I'm really grateful because like it enables me to basically do whatever I want on this channel and like not feel like I have to have this channel for my livelihood, if that makes sense. Because I used to have to depend on this YouTube channel to like pay my rent and things like that, and that really just sacrificed like the quality of my content, and it really burnt me out very quickly to the point where like I honestly felt like I had to make content like in a way that would get views, in a way that would like what's gonna do the best, blah blah blah. And like now I'm just interested in creating the content that like I know will be like in alignment with what I love, if you know what I mean. Los Angeles and high-rise are like a cute neighborhood. No, I live in a house. I gotta go. Shout out to the haters. Stay on your game. Hello. Good night, Dragon Queen. Oh, thank you, Kevin. Sending you so much love and thanks for joining your daily dose of Dragon Feather. Oh yeah. But that's pretty much where we're at for, you know, this life, I guess you could say. You know, like we're never gonna stop loving the dragons. We're never gonna stop loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we're never gonna stop loving witchcraft. So if you're interested in learning how those three worlds collide as a Muslim, as a Draconian, and as a witch, don't forget to hit that subscribe button here on the channel to learn about the journey. Because I recently came out as Muslim like not even a week ago, so it's been kind of a wild ride, I'm not gonna lie. It's been madness. We've just gotten a lot of drama on this channel from since then, but it's all good. It's all good. Always excited to hear about your perspectives, even if they're like super shitty, honestly. But you know, I just think that I was finally ready to stop like pretending that I was like someone I wasn't, or like hiding a part of myself, because I don't believe in that. Like, I believe in being my full geeky, cheeky, and freaky self, and I'm here to embrace all of who I am now. I waited so long because I just wanted to make sure that I, like, you know, knew enough about my religion, and I knew enough about the culture and the practices, and I knew enough about the words and, like, the vocab to, like, really explain it, if that makes sense. I have art, I have autism. Dude, shout out to my autistic homies in the chat. I hate it when people say you should do your hobbies as your job. You end up with no hobbies. Yeah, exactly, Alex. And now, like, my hobbies really do include, like, researching dragons and reading books. Like, this is my current read right now, besides the Quran, obviously. But, like, I literally love this one. It's the Book of Hermetica with the 3 essential texts. We have the Corpus Hermeticum, the Emerald Tablet, and the Kybalion. Really, really recommend this one. So if you guys have not heard about this before, I definitely recommend it. This one is by Joel Fotinos. Very, very beautiful. And, you know, I just like learning about all different kinds of belief systems, especially philosophy too. Like, this is what got me into alchemy too. Like, I practice alchemy a lot as well, like spiritual alchemy, like, you know what I mean? And I think it's something that, like, you would probably consider me eclectic at this point, right? Like, I literally have, like, little bits and pieces from everything everywhere that, like, I incorporate into my practice to genuinely regulate my nervous system. I've been through a lot, man. The brain is fried, okay? Like, we've been through a lot of abuse, okay? Abuse changes your brain chemistry, all right? And the way that I've been able to kind of, like, regulate that and, like, ground myself and, like, be present and be a functioning human being is through things like religion and things like spirituality and things like, you know, philosophy. These things really help me. So it's really it's just really something that I like to share because it's my special interest, you know. Religion is my special interest, so truly knowing what my lifelong religion will end up being in the end is hard. Exactly, the vintage system. You are me for sure. I literally, like, love studying religion so much. It's so fascinating to me. And, like, it's one thing that, like, I'll never get enough of. Like, I just love watching different ways that people worship and express, you know what I mean? It's so fun to me, like, oh my gosh, you know what I mean? Are your lips natural? Yes, I've never had plastic surgery. I get that question a lot though, so honored, truly, thank you. Thank you, Captain Morgan. Thank you, Captain Morgan. Oh yeah. I love worshiping LeBron. You're funny, my friend. Bend over. Haha, your name! I see what you did there. Oh my gosh, you're so funny. When your hobbies become your job, you could end up hating your hobbies. No, exactly. That's what happened to me. Like, why do you think I left this channel for like 3 years, guys? Like, for those of you guys who are new, like, I've had this channel for 13 plus years, and like, I dipped for like 3 years on this channel because I burned out. It was literally my source of income that I used to, like, pay for my bills and feed myself and, like, all of that. And then I started hating it. Like, I started hating talking about this. Like, I started hating jumping online and editing videos. And, like, I felt like I was boxed in, like, the witchcraft niche, and I couldn't break out of it. And I was like, ugh, I hate this. Like, I don't want to even be on this channel. I really thought about deleting it, actually. I thought about deleting this channel. But I'm really glad I didn't, because, like, I really just genuinely needed to take a step away and process what I'd been through and really kind of, like, come back to myself and really understand, like, okay, like, who do I want to be? Like, what do I want my life to look like? Like, how do I want to move forward in this lifetime? Like, who do I want to be is kind of, like, where I got, right? And, like, now, like, I'm just kind of, like, at this point where it's like, had I not done that, had I not taken a break from my social media for 3 years and really focus on healing and focus on really sitting with my grief and sitting with my anger and sitting with my, you know, hate, I would never have gotten better enough to show up on the channel the way that I do today. I owe everything to that version of me who sat in the dark by herself, locked in her room, and focused on being like, okay, who the hell are we gonna be now? Who am I? What are we doing? What's it gonna be? Like, what's going on? Okay, so that's truly like, truly the thing. Okay, guys, like, that's the 1, the 2, and the 3, actually, last time I checked. Off topic, how is your experience with your Medusa? Mine was pain, but I want to get it redone. Okay, so actually, fun fact, my Medusa, I've gotten it pierced twice. So the first time I got it pierced, loved it, was perfect, didn't hurt too bad, was super swollen, obviously, that's what happens. I have a video on my channel called Kylie Jenner lip challenge, and it's just my lips swollen after I got my Medusa piercing. I didn't do the actual challenge, it's just a swollen lip from a piercing. Really funny, actually. But I loved it, it was perfect, amazing. Okay, then I got a job at Victoria's Secret. Okay, and I was told I had to take it out, and I didn't realize that when I took it out, it pretty much, first of all, like, pretty much closed, you know, by the time I went home. And then I lost part of the piercing in the bathroom at Victoria's Secret because they told me to take it out. I'm so mad I took it out because I loved the placement of my piercing before then. And then, like, I want to say like a year later, maybe a little bit less than that, after the scar tissue had healed on my lip, I got it re-pierced. And the lady who re-pierced it actually did a horrible job. She pierced it like she lifted my lip up, and then she did it from this way, and you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to pierce it this way. She's so stupid, man. I was like, what the hell? So yeah, that was my experience with my Medusa. I am lucky it never got infected. My navel piercing got infected when I got it done. Terrifying. I literally thought I was gonna have to go to the hospital for that. It was really scary. But if you delete your channel, I'll die. They're my basics for when I first got started. Lucy, I promise I'll never delete the channel, okay? I never will. Never will, I promise. Yeah, it always sucks when jobs don't allow them. And yeah, I think that's why mine was bad, because the way he pierced it. Oh, 100%. Like, some people literally don't even know how. Walmart cracked my ear cartilage. What does that mean? Check out the small band and the impures. They suck. That's funny. I've never been told to check out a band that sucks like that. That's a great way to get people to check out a band. Focus Rise. Morning. Hello. Welcome to your Daily Dose of Dragonfeather. Isn't it against the law to not hire someone for having piercings tattoo? I think it's a gray area. Like, most people just don't have the means to, like, sue a company for that. Like, but I'm pretty sure that, like, it's like company policy and they get away with it somehow. I'm definitely gonna have to look into that, because, like, it should be illegal. It should absolutely be illegal. It says, if you delete this channel, I'll delete you. This is a threat. Alex, that's valid. That's valid. I won't delete it, I promise. Potat would kill me first, probably. So, because this is, for those of you guys who just joined, Potat is the channel mascot. Okay, that's why he's hanging out on that. But yeah, you can also buy your own Potat, okay? Potat, you can buy one. What's the name of the thing? They're called Palm Pals. You can get them at palmpals.com. This is not sponsored. I just genuinely love. Look at him. He's so special. He's so floppy too. Furry mode, 300 million. Okay. Even if you're bluffing, do it. If you threaten to sue someone, they will probably bend to your will, even if you're bluffing to do it. Unfortunately, that's very true. Except you have to have a good lawyer to give them a good bluff. Unfortunately, that's how, like, sometimes the best threats come as cease and desists. It's true. We don't like that shit, okay? We just don't. How do you stop impulse behaviors? How do I stop impulse behaviors? I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean by that. I might not be the best person to ask. Do you have ear cartilage piercings? No, although I really want some. My sister has a bunch of them and I love them so much. I really want more tattoos as well, but I might not get them just because I'm Muslim. And don't, like, that's like totally a personal decision. Like, if I want to get a tattoo, like, I will, but I might choose not to, just to worship Allah. So again, personal decision. I love tattoos, okay? Like, you get your tattoos if you want them, you get your piercings if you want them. I'm always gonna celebrate them, okay? Impulsive behavior. I think they mean the urge to do something such as snap at someone who is annoying you. Oh, okay. Well, let me tell you something. I'm still not good at that stuff, okay? I'm still not good at regulating that, okay? It's really unfortunate. You know, the best thing that I can do, the best thing that I can recommend is for you to just focus on regulating your nervous system. EFT tapping really helps, where you go like, I am safe when people disagree with me. It is safe for people to hate on me. It's safe for people to troll me. It's safe for me to believe different things, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Things like that, like the EFT tapping really helps. I definitely recommend looking into that. And EMDR therapy really helps too. In terms of like navigating the trauma, because I find that I get really impulsive because of the trauma I've been through. So there's that. Allah doesn't like tattoos. Okay, so the technical reason is because it has to do with like blood. The Quran is very much about cleanliness. It's like the emphasis on being clean is really important in the Quran, and that's because like the Quran basically shows us how, like, you know, disease is like an agent of shaitan or Satan, to basically corrupt us, if you will. And I'm not talking about like like cancer or things like that. No, I'm talking about like viral infections, okay? Like that come from like dirty things, okay? So like E. coli, for example, or insert brain-eating amoebas or something like that. That comes from like a lack of cleanliness sometimes, and so that's why it is considered like haram or forbidden by God, because when you use a needle to pierce the skin, you're going to draw blood and you're going to create an open wound, which is considered harming yourself. It's a very like thin line, right? But there's a lot of Muslims who still have tattoos that like still get tattooed, like, so, and they can get infected because it's an open wound that needs to heal. Yeah, so it's like really all about that kind of thing. So that's kind of like where I'm coming from, in terms of like not wanting to get a tattoo, because I just really like try to do my best, I guess. I love the hat and I dig the hat. Well, thank you, blessings. And John, welcome to Daily Dose of Dragon Feather. But do you like the potat? This is Potat. If you're new here, this is our channel mascot. Subscribe for the Potat. He will be very happy. And if you want to join the Potat fan club, it's linked in the description in the Hatchling Clan Discord server. First link down below if you want to join us and praise the Potat. Okay? So, you know, there's just all about that. Can you please say hi, Scarlett? Hi, Scarlett. Cheers, my friend. Let me just take a little drinky. What is the intention of the stream? Well, we were kind of talking about dragon deities across the world mythology, right? So what do I mean by that? I mean by like gods, goddesses, or like divine beings that are canon dragons, serpents, or like reptilian in nature, or are described as dragons, or are just like collectively associated as dragons. So this is kind of like the cornerstone of my practice as a witch, and it is all centered around the mythology of dragons all around the world, because this is what anchors me in knowledge of dragons. So I'm just not like making it up as I go, you know what I mean? So everything that I do that's considered like personal gnosis, or like something that like I come to the conclusion on in my practice by myself, this is always backed up first by like historical myths and like legends and lore, because that's how I stay grounded and anchored to reality, if that makes sense. As a witch, yes. Where did you get your hat from? I got my hat from Hot Topic. I believe it was around 2012 that I got the hat. No, I only fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but I love Jesus Christ. He is an amazing prophet of God. I love his teachings. I literally love studying him. I think everybody should study the teachings of Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, because he teaches us how to become the Christ. You know, it's very beautiful, very beautiful. Are you fasting? I would be if I wasn't on my period. I was before I started my period a couple days ago. But yeah, dude, I was gonna go to the masjid today, but I just really didn't feel like, oh, I felt so awful today. So inshallah, I feel better to go back tomorrow. Yes, you can be a witch and a Christian. We have so many Christian witches in the Hatchling Clan Discord server and just here in the community as well. We hold space for everybody here, actually. We don't tell people what they can and can't be on this channel because that's like religiously abusive, just so you know. We like to encourage people to be their geeky, cheeky, and freaky selves and create a safe space to allow people to share that in the Hatchling Clan. It's really, really beautiful, you know what I mean? Because there's so many people that, like, you know, who have their own like perspectives and have their own like personal practices that, like, because of how like awful like some of you guys are in this chat, like people feel too scared to like be themselves, and like you should be ashamed of yourselves for that, because people deserve to be who they are. Like, and I will like literally fight for people's rights to be who they are, because like they're not hurting anyone. No, it's none of your business, okay? Right? You know, like just mind your own faith and let people mind theirs, you know? That's what we do. A male witch is called a witch, you are correct. Witch is a genderless word. It is. Unholy quantum chicken. Bro, your username might be the best username I have ever said. Christianity is a lot. We should totally unpack that in a stream, because I would say organized Christianity is like awful, because it's all right, but I have so many Christians in my life who are genuinely just Christians as their own and read their Bible and do their best to be good people, and they practice Jesus's teachings. They love their neighbors as they love themselves, and they are some of the most loving and caring and insanely respectful people I have ever met in this world. But not everybody's like that as a Christian, right? Just like not everybody in every religion is like amazing person. Like there's good and bad people in every single faith. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the point, right? Like, you know, like that's what makes us human. Do you know what I mean? That's what makes us human. That's the point, all right? It's really, we gotta remember this, all right, guys? Okay. I think Christianity legitimately helps people, and people legitimately get joy from it. And if you get joy from it, then it's real. Exactly, the vintage system. This is why we love to discuss all religions and all faiths and all spiritual practices here on this channel, because it can all help everybody. And religion is there for those who need it, right? Religion is there for those who, you know, feel called to it. And I think the second that we start telling people what they can and cannot believe in, who they can and cannot be, that's when we start hurting people, and that's when we start demonizing people, and that's when people start losing their lives and their livelihoods and their families. Yes, warlock means oathbreaker, you are correct. So, you know, there's just all of these things that I think are really important to remember. You know what I mean? Because many of us are only exposed to like one type of religion or like one type of belief system, right? But at the end of the day, if you were to ask me, like, probably atheists are the closest to the reality of what's going on here. But like, this is where faith comes in, right? This is what fascinates me so much, because the second that a human being chooses to have faith in something, it changes their life. Why? Because that's how powerful you are. Let me say that again. The second someone chooses to have faith in something, it changes their life, because that's how powerful you are. You can absolutely identify however you want, but it does mean oathbreaker, you were correct. I used to watch Charmed, and I thought warlock meant an evil demon. Lucy, no, I had no idea. Just remind people that preaching to people is different than preaching at people. Yes, that's a good point, Kevin. I really don't like, I can't handle like preachy people, it's too much. Like the only thing that I can really like handle is like when people just like share their perspectives and like are just like, hey, be a good person. Like that's all that it is. Like that's all that matters. You know what I mean? Like why are we so interested in being so like oh, you can't be that, like, oh, you can't do that. So I don't know, I'll never understand that. Like, I've never been like that. I've never been that kind of a person. I've never been the kind of a person to like put someone down for what they believe in. Therefore, I can never understand why people do that. But then like when I study psychology, like I realize that like, oh, okay, it's because like people sometimes like need to, you know, like feel a certain way about themselves. They need to feel better. They need to, you know, find an outlet for their rage that they don't know how to express, so they project it on other people, etc., etc. And you know, it's just a lot, you know. In the Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game, what is happening? A warlock is a character class that gains power through pacts with powerful entities such as devils, fae, or demons. Yeah. Yeah, that's D&D, by the way. D&D is a game. It's like they can't mind their own business. You're absolutely right, Glenn, and it's so sad. No, it's not. It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. I think it's because people take it to extremes and demonize anyone who doesn't have the same perspective. Oh yeah, like, dude, totally. Like, and you'll get extremists on both, like on both spectrums, right? You'll get extremists for and against things, and like, it's just best to balance yourself in the middle. You know, like, this is why, like, I think that, like, you know, people who like maybe practice witchcraft and then like, you know, revert to Christianity, or like they'll like, you know, go back to like an organized religion, like they start demonizing like the witchcraft, and it's like, well, why? Like, bestie, like there's no need for that. Like, clearly that's a red flag. Like, when people like change their spiritual faith and then they like go to like an organized religion, usually Christianity, and then they start hating on like their old practice, like, I'm just like, there's a lot to unpack there. Like, that there's like self-hatred in there, there's denial in there, there's like, you know, confusion in there, there's fear going on, like there's just so much. You know. Same with people who claim ex-LGBT. Yeah, I've seen people who are like in the LGBT community who like, you know, either detransition or whatever, or who like, you know, like don't identify as like gay or lesbian anymore, and like they're like super supportive of the LGBTQ community still. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people who like swap. They go from like for all the way to like anti, and it's just like, how did we get here? You know what I mean? That's like World of Warcraft, I think. Warlock is like more demonic and evil, but I don't know. I don't play it. It just looks evil. Yeah, definitely self-hatred. That was my first thought. No, exactly. It's like, or like they, I almost lost Patat. Patat almost fell in my drink. You don't understand. That was so scary. He almost took a swim in some tea. Patat. Doing bad things. Yeah, Alex, it's likely because it's a natural human response to think that if someone has an opposing opinion, it means that they're denying the other person's opinion or perspective. Yeah, that's why a lot of people like really they really just like can't understand how I work. People are like, what is happening? Hey, assalamu alaikum, Khaleesi. Hey, Eskai, assalamu alaikum. So good to see you. Welcome to your daily dose of Dragon Feather. I hope you are doing so well. Yes, please no spamming. Please no spam in the chat, my friends. But yes, so that's kind of like where I'm at with that, you know what I mean? And ultimately, guys, I think that like the takeaway from today's stream, talking about the dragon deities everywhere and how like they come from all these different cultures and all these different religions, like we are so much more alike than we are different, and there's so much more to this life than, you know, the little bubble that you were raised in. There's so much more to this world than just the religion that you know, and it doesn't matter if you like are somebody who believes Jesus is king and it works for you. Like, I am never ever going to tell you that like you're wrong for that. Like, I'm only going to tell you you're wrong for telling me that too, or like forcing it upon me or other people. That's where you lose the plot, right? But like anyone who believes anything, no matter what that is, this stream was really just to illustrate how like we are more connected than we are like severed and separated. And I found this out through studying dragon mythology, and I never thought that that would happen. You know, like I never thought the dragons would be like my ticket to learning about inclusion as humans, but it's true. Like the most, like the intersection of human belief systems, the intersection of faith, the intersection of even religion is dragons, okay? And that is something that I will literally never stop talking about, no matter what religion I am, okay? No matter what faith I have, whatever, because it's just always been a part of my life. You know what I mean? So I think that this is something I just wanted to talk about because it's kind of like my special interest right now, and I'm deep diving it, and we're really getting into the nitty-gritty of it. So please join the Hatchling Clan Discord server if you have not already, and join our dragon deity database, where we have all these chats for all these different deities with descriptions about them and resources for you guys to utilize and learn more about them, to cross-reference them and learn a little bit more about the dragons for yourself and share it with us along the way. So it would be so amazing to have you there. Don't forget to join us. First link in this description, all right? And we love dragons over there, but we do welcome everybody in all religions, okay? We do, it's true. So I think before I get out of here, I am just going to give us a little bit of a stream. Oh, by the way, yesterday I mentioned Diana Cooper in the stream, and I said that she was controversial, and she's totally not. I literally got her. Oh no, I feel so bad. I literally got her confused with Doreen Virtue. Fail. Okay, so Doreen Virtue is the one who's controversial because she's like what we were just talking about. She like made all of these like, you know, new age type of like, you know, information and decks and art and all of this, and like then she reverted to like being a born again Christian, and now she's like hating on all of it and calling it demonic and stuff. Like that means she just didn't do her like shadow work or something. You know what I mean? So that's what we're talking about. I have that deck and I love it. Yeah, it's such a good one. I totally recommend it for anyone who doesn't have it. It's called Dragon Oracle Cards by Diana Cooper. And before I get out of here, I'm just going to give us a collective reading. This isn't going to be like, this isn't individual readings for today. This is just a collective message from the dragons before we head out here. I suspect that those people who hate on their old practice are actually lying and have never practiced it. Oh my gosh, you just changed my life with that comment, Lucy. I'm going to have to think about that one. I'm gonna have to think about, like, I'm covered in chills. That's how good that was. That was really good, honestly. I was working with that deck recently. Yay, it's such a good one. I still gotta buy the Kali deck, my dream deck, and the Hindu Gods deck. Oh, can you please send the Kali deck in the Kali chat in the Hatchling Clan? Because I want to buy that one too. I need that one so bad. I definitely do. So let's see what the dragon deities have for us today. Do they have a message for us? They are telling me to cleanse the deck with the dragon egg that I have in my purse. So let me just do that real quick for you. Here we go. We have this one. It's a chrysocolla egg. I love it so much. This one, so cute. Do I have, where's my other phone here? This is my work phone, hold on. I just want you guys to be able to like see it properly, okay? So like, look, it's so pretty. Like, oh my gosh, like what's going on here? Like, it's so gorgeous. Like, bruh, it's so pretty. But anyway, this is what we're gonna use to cleanse our deck with, okay? So dragon deities, please give us a message for the hatchlings. Oh yeah, gorgeous egg, OMG. No, I know, I'm obsessed with it. Welcome, Furion, good to see you, by the way, to your daily day's Dragon Magick. Because anyone can get on YouTube and say, I practice witchcraft and it's evil. Yeah, no, exactly. But anyone can do that with any religion too. Like anyone can get on here and be like I practice Islam and it was evil. Or they'll be like, I practice Christianity and it was evil. Like you can do it with anything, which is why like I need people to understand like any the internet, like take it with a grain of salt. Please get outside and touch grass. Like real life is not like the internet at all. It's not like the internet at all. Oh my gosh. I get so much hate on this channel, like from Muslims because of like what I do in my life. But like in real life, when I go to my masjid, they love hearing me talk about my practice. So like that, do with that what you will. Do with that what you will. Not everything that you hear on the internet is true. Very much facts. All right, let's see what these dragon deities got for us. We have this one. Lilac Fire Dragon. Oh my god, I love this deck. It says transmutes through the power of divine love. Open up to transcendent love and enlightenment. Purity of the heart brings peace, hope, and joy. I'm gonna cry. This is such a beautiful card. Arguably my favorite card in the entire deck. And this message is literally what I try to embody on this channel. and what I hope I can bestow upon you today. Because when people give me such awful energy, when people give me such hate and such, you know, negativity, every time I give it back to them, I feel like shit. I start to lose respect for myself. But every time I respond with love and, like, you know, just care and compassion, I, like, grow to respect myself more. And 9 times out of 10, the people either, you know, don't know how to respond, or they will start responding with positivity back, because that's human nature. You know, in Islam, purity of the heart is really significant. And things that are considered impurity of the heart is things like envy, or things like, you know, hatred, for example. You sound like you like a guy named Bashar. No, I do not like Bashar. He has lost the plot. He's horrible, okay? He's, like, literally, like, I used to, like, watch some of his content, but, like, dude, that guy has lost the plot. Anyway, the second you start talking about how, like, Palestinian suffering is, like, irrelevant because of, like, how you observe your reality, yeah, no, fuck you people. But if it's Julian Bashar from Star Trek, yes, exactly, vintage system, exactly. 3 card draw, please. Okay, Thomas, I'll do 3 cards for us. So yeah, that's what the Lilac Fire Dragon is telling me. The whole part about the purity of heart is, like, when we hold on to things like anger and hatred and, like, things like, you know, envy, it really just, like, makes us ill. It makes us sick. You have to understand how sick that makes us. And that's why, like, when you focus on facing things with, like, you know, peace, love, and, like, joy and hope, and, like, bring that positive energy, like, you have to understand that in a world that is addicted to hatred, in a world that's addicted to violence, in a world that's addictive to, you know, punishment, being someone who loves and is compassionate and is, you know, open-minded, like, that is an act of, you know, it's a revolutionary act. It's something that you don't understand is making so much more of a difference than you could ever imagine. I'm hearing, look at the bottom of the deck. We have Air Dragon. Love this one. Love this one. It's very close to what my kin type looks like, actually. It says, helps you rise above earthly matters, communicate honestly, bring inspiration and hope, see life from a higher perspective. I need you to start showing up as who you are, okay? Who you are. Who are you? Are you showing up as you'd like to? Maybe you need to take a break and soar high in the sky and get a higher perspective on things. The way we do this is through meditation. The way we do this is through mindfulness. The way we do this is through touching grass sometimes, okay? And I need you to understand that ultimately whatever you feel in your life, whatever you feel is, what's the word? Whatever your intuition is guiding you to do it as honestly and as genuinely and as authentically as you can. And if you don't know what that might look like for you, take my channel for an example. My whole entire channel, I have been only a girl who follows her dragons, and I just want to share that journey. Because in my real life, no one talks to me about that. No one is passionate about dragons the way that I am in my real life, which is why I made this channel, so I could have that that conversation. And I do my best to communicate as openly and as honestly as I possibly can. And every time I do that, sure, there's some hate, but we always have miracles that come from that. And the second that you take a moment and you take a step back to look at things from a higher perspective, that's when you start realizing, again, how we're more interconnected than we are separate. And we're all just in denial. You talk to people? Whoa, me? No. What you talking about? Me talking to people? Nah, I don't do that. I don't talk to people. Psh, I talk to dragons. Azura, if angelic dragons exist, how about working with demonic dragons for shadow work? Yes, I do work with demon dragons as well. I mostly work with, I mean, oh, I can't, they're telling me I can't share it with you. I would definitely like to, I definitely gotta sit with the demon dragons and see what I can share with you guys. But next we have Orange Gold Dragon from Arcturus. Opens you to knowledge for the new golden age. Carry the energy of the future. Be a guiding light. There you go. I'm gonna need you guys to ultimately become what you want to see in the future. I need you to stop paying attention to everything you can't do, everything that feels hopeless, and start embodying the energy of what you want to see in this world. And what I want to see in this world is people of different perspectives and religions and faiths coming together and learning from each other and loving each other anyway and being friends. That is what I want to see. And that's why I do my best to show up as that person, because that's all I can do. And if you want to see a world like that, or if you want to see a world that's like, you know, whatever that looks like to you, focus on what you really want to see more of in this life and start embodying that. Are you allowed to give advice? Any advice? Or is it a big no-no? You mean working with demon dragons? What can I tell them? They said pull a card. Okay. All right. The demon dragon said pull a card for advice. Let's see. Oh, funny. The demon dragons told me to pull a card, and look what I got. Stop. Not the Archangel Gabriel's dragon. I can't make that up, bestie. Can't make that up. Why are they're trolling me. See, this is how much they're saying I can't share with you, Lucy. I'm so sorry. But if you want to learn more about demon dragons, please do join the Hatchling Clan Discord server, because I have a feeling if you ask me the right questions in the Hatchling Clan, the demon dragons that I work with will be much more open for me sharing. But it says, brings purification, self-discipline will speed ascension and bring joy. You can carry Archangel Gabriel's diamond. Oh my gosh. I can't make this up. That's so funny to me, you guys. I'm crying. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. Is this the girl that married herself? It is. Welcome to the channel. The one that grants wishes earthbounds women. I want to learn more about eternal dragons. Dude, hell yeah. I definitely, honestly, you know why, Lucy? I think the reason why they're saying no, I can't share is because there's a lot of trolls in the chat right now, and like the type of work that I do with demon dragons is like even more polarizing than everything I've talked about tonight, whether or not that sounds like it's even possible. So again, I'm more than happy to discuss this in the Hatchling Clan Discord server, so please join there if you are interested, and I'll see if I can make some like short form content about it too, but again, we'll see. Ultimately, I'm hearing that like you need to like, polarizing is usually good, lol. No, honestly, yeah, you know, it's true. But like, I mean, like if you're not polarizing, are you doing it right? Okay. I'm hearing balance, you know what I mean? You have to become the light in your own darkness. That's kind of like why we work with demons and demon dragons. So how long have you been doing this? Do you mean like witchcraft? I've been practicing witchcraft pretty much for as long as I can remember. I used to make potions when I was a little girl. My dad would let me do this. I called them potions. It was very fun. I've had like imaginary friends my whole life, and they were really just my dragon guardians. The adults called them, you know, imaginary dragons. But if you mean like actively practiced, right? I've been practicing since I was like 13, like officially. And you can guess how old I am now. I won't tell you, but you can definitely guess. But anyway, it's really cool. Oh, hold on. What did you say? I can't tell if I'm working with Dragonfae or not lately. Honestly, that's a vibe. Dragonfae are so convoluted and hard to understand. They are honestly probably like the most difficult dragons that I've worked with. They're also the scariest. The Dragonfae I work with are not nice. They're not cute, they're not demure, and the only one that really kind of like is like doesn't fit that is literally Rosie, my fairy dragon. The fairy dragons are like the only like nice, cutesy dragon fae I've ever come into contact with. But there's some like fairy dragons that literally are not like that. So there's that. So this is the last card I'll be pulling for us. Last card I'm pulling for us. I have a feeling it's along the lines of Lucy's question of any advice on embracing the chaos. It says, Golden Crested Dragon brings you higher love so that you embody the Christ light. Absorb the Christ light. You are protected. Expand your heart and remain fifth dimensional. All right. Are there any salamander-like dragons? Yes, there are, Wheeler Dealer. There definitely are. This card is really reminding me that like focus on your Christ consciousness, meaning like unity consciousness. Focus on how God us, okay? Like all of us have a slice of God within us. All of us have that divine spark within us. That's what makes us animated and alive and have like thoughts and feelings, you know what I mean? And a heart that pumps blood. And the more that you focus on embodying this unity consciousness, the more that you will notice life starts to just get like fall into place around you, in the sense that like the way people respond to the way you act says more about them than it does you, and now you don't care because like you're focused so much on your own practice and your own perspective. And it's all about unconditional love right now. This world I'm hearing has unconditional hate, and that's so sad. There's more unconditional hate in this world than there is unconditional love, and so I challenge you guys today and, you know, for the rest of your life to embody unconditional love. First, starting with unconditional love for yourself. How can you love yourself unconditionally? And that is truly the message I'm getting from the dragons today. I hope that that helps. I really, truly am so grateful for you guys joining today. Of course, it would just not be the same without all of you beautiful human beings. This is my favorite thing to do in the world, is hang out with you guys. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. You guys are my favorite. You guys are my friends and my family. And you guys always remind me what is important and what I should, you know, keep doing, you know, and I just really appreciate that. And it's just, I couldn't say thank you enough, truly. I really couldn't say thank you enough. I feel like you have a lot of wisdom, Thomas Bradley. Unfortunately, the way that I earned this wisdom was through walking through hell. Yep. And part of the reason why I come on this channel is because I almost lost my life many times in the life path that I took. Some of it was self-inflicted, some of it was not self-inflicted. And yeah, I feel like I would be doing a disservice to myself and to everybody who might need to hear what I have to say if I didn't show up and speak my truth. I feel that Aquariuses were forced to grow up at an early age. Ooh, what a vibe. What a vibe. But anyway, that's just kind of like where I'm coming from, and I just hope that I can, you know, share something that helps you guys have a little bit better of a day, because, you know, you guys deserve to be happy. You guys deserve to love yourself. You guys deserve to have the spirituality that you want. You deserve to have the religion that you want. You deserve to feel loved by your spirit team. You deserve to feel loved by God if that's what you want. Like, you deserve to feel accepted for who you are, no matter your gender identity, no matter your sexual orientation. You deserve to feel loved. And I love you, okay? And I will always love you. And I don't care if people can unconditionally hate. I can unconditionally love. And people might find that cringy, and I think that them thinking I'm cringy for loving you is even more cringy. Like, dude, like, fucking touch grass, okay? So I wanted to say thank you again for so much for joining us. And if you want to continue the conversation and hang out with me for the rest of the night, and, you know, just for the rest of, I guess, however long the internet lasts, please join the Hatchling Clan Discord server. Link down below. We would love to have you there. But until next time, stay geeky, chicky, and freaky, little hatchlings. Bye, bye. Salam, and I will see you very soon, my friends. Allah Hafiz. See you soon.